And thusly, once more, Shadowrun out of Nest and on Edge, which should be the final session of this massively long mission. I think it's been 15 sessions. That sound about right to anybody?
Don't jinx it now, but maybe-ish.
Hey, I said if we're not wrapping this up by the last hour, then I am just hand waving everything and telling you all what's happening.
I agree with that. And just so you know, I pitched the original mission idea for this. I definitely did not plan it this complex and long.
No, somebody else did planning. Mwahaha. Oh, Frosty, you were about to say something?
I was just about to say that this is, I've already told this about this to you, that this is turning out to be as long as the Dark Heresy mission I read.
Alrighty, so we just did a slight retcon that Grim made sure Mike had the restraints before heading down to help Whiskey, so that we can ensure that Ariel, Sletvana, and Nira are all very much restrained when the police arrive. This also means that we're rewinding time a little bit, so we can establish what items Mike and Whiskey are acquiring before leaving the sisters, and is Mike hanging around until the cops arrive, or are you two both literally leaving the sisters just chained up and unguarded?
Well, if Lawrence is headed upstairs to try and get back in, I do need to
The-
scan him before
Well-
he gets back in.
Yes, but remember, he was dumb enough to take the stairs until someone reminded him there is another elevator. It just doesn't go all the way up to the penthouse. So ride the elevator up to like the 49th floor, walk across the hallway, then take the stairs for only one more floor. But that doesn't have to be told to him until later on. So we have some time to play with here.
All right, then yeah, I would probably stick around long enough to see them handed over. And I'd
Definitely.
probably want us to hand over Miss Lillian Kimmel as well, since we don't really have a place to put her.
Okay, so you're ready to just hand her over without even knowing who she is? Or... Bear in mind, she's Grimm's prisoner, so at the moment she's on the top floor with Grimm, so we'll wait till Kara's back to decide that. What I want first is to establish what items are you pulling off of the sisters before leaving? And will Mike and Whiskey both be waiting for the cops? Or are we basically making Whiskey the pack mule and sending her back upstairs with all the items you don't want the cops to confiscate?
That seems like it would be the better idea.
Also bear in mind that Whiskey might be the only one physically strong enough to actually take down any of the sisters if they get back up.
I have a very large gun. If any of them get back up and break out of their restraints, I'm just gonna headshot them.
Okay, Whiskey, are you all right with that?
Mike might need to do a little convincing, but I know what his charisma is like, so I think Whiskey could be convinced. And she's very adamant, like, they're not taking this chainsaw. No way. I'm not letting anyone have this chainsaw. That thing nearly cut me to ribbons. I'm not trusting anyone with this anymore.
Still here when they get here, they're taking it. So, you should probably grab that and anything else too big for me to stuff in my pockets and head upstairs.
I can try to take it, but I'm not leaving it behind. But yeah, sure.
And yes, I'll palm, Ariel's comlink. And if I happen to spot any drugs or hand grenades when I'm dumping out all their pockets to check them for any other nasty surprises they might have, I'll palm those as well.
Well, how many? Like everything they've got, or are you leaving a few for the police to find?
I would imagine I'd have to leave a few for the police. Wait a minute, didn't this person have 14 grenades and now they have none? I think they would notice that. But I'll take probably about half of what they've got.
And about the TNT, one thing Whiskey would do if she's capable, she would remove the detonators from the TNT. Not suddenly just rip them out, whatever they are.
Oh dear.
And now we all die.
So,
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Whiskey
Bob,
was informed.
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Pirate
Pirate
would-
did make it clear that those were anti-tampering devices.
Oh, okay.
And no one is supposed to touch the explosives except her.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's-
then
that's the- yeah,
then she would be
that-
like, sis, get bloody hell, get down there and deactivate these things, or at least neutralize these things. I don't want these things staying around here. They might go. They might go. Oh, hail Mary, Mary, all the earth for God, and then blow themselves to bits.
Why don't you take their comm links so they can't do that?
And what if they just have a little button somewhere hidden on their body?
Frisk them?
Oh, I already did that. And yeah, Whiskey would thoroughly frisk the ladies. Like, she's pretty paranoid about them blowing themselves up.
So, are you going to do your best to convince your sister to... Okay, sorry, let's... Whiskey, are you going to try to do your best to convince Pirate to come down and disarm the bombs? Or Pirate, are you going to do your best to convince Whiskey, just leave them for the cops to handle? The cops will have bomb experts with them.
Yeah, the bombs, yeah. The cops
I
would have
will-
bomb experts with them, would have bomb squad, they would have the bomb gear, they would have everything needed here. I don't want to be I don't want to be fiddling with those things when the police arrive.
I want to make a quick composure check to see how scared Whiskey is. Like, the lower her composure, the more scared she is of this shit.
Okay, good luck.
Composure 8.
She's a big girl.
Ah, yeah, alright. I think we've knocked them out long enough that they probably won't go Allah Akbar or whatever they do these days.
Well, here's a few ideas. You can gag them in case there's any kind of voice thing to activate them. You take their comm links to make sure they can't activate them remotely.
Okay, and Whiskey will basically, she will indeed strip them of electronics and such, but she won't take them, she will basically put them in a pile somewhere out of their reach.
Okay. Mike, however, you are pocketing one of the comm links, you said?
Yep. I believe somebody wanted to get one of the Nexi. Is that correct?
Yes, Twister, are you up in a boot?
Prodigy wouldn't mind getting access to all three of them, because it can potentially be quite useful.
No, but bearing in mind that police are on their way right now and you are technically taking evidence. So,
That's true. So probably only just one.
Sybil also puts in a request for Sletvana's goggles and headphones.
Yep. All of that was going to be confiscated.
I will add that to, hand that for Whiskey to haul upstairs. I think they're a little bulky to hide in my pockets.
Alright, so can my drone fit through doors?
Sorry, what was that, Twister?
Can my drone fit through doors?
Are you saying the big one that's on the rooftop?
Yes.
Yes, it may. It may fly
Okay.
through doorways, but if you're attempting to move at full speed, you'd have to do a piloting roll to navigate without the rotary blades clipping the door frame.
Okay. It wouldn't be at full speed. Basically, if we can get things into the elevator, we already have the roof of the elevator more or less destroyed. Can we pass things through the roof of the elevator to the bottom of the drone?
The number of trips you'd have to make for that to work would not be as efficient as just putting them in Whiskey's pockets and having her walk up the stairs herself.
Oh, okay. How big are these Nexi?
Like server units? Like
Okay.
Like
bigger
a
than
blade?
bigger than a desktop computer.
Okay, so they're not going to fit in
Ooh,
someone's
okay.
pocket.
No, but Whiskey can grab one of them as well as a bunch of the other smaller items which she'd put in her pockets.
Like the comlinks.
Technically, Whiskey could carry two of these, but she would have to make a strength check in that case.
Okay. Can she take one and put one in the arms of the drone? And then from there just...
So you want two of these, you're saying?
That'd be nice, yeah.
Is anyone going to argue with Prodigy that he shouldn't get two, or are people going to say, you know what, fuck it, the police don't deserve to have these?
Well, they can already know that one exists.
No, they know all three exist if they check the security cameras.
That's fair.
Which they're going to do.
But it could always be argued they got destroyed if, say, you
The
want to
elevators.
destroy some stuff.
Like
Well,
the
we already
elevator.
blew up half the elevator, so we could. I think we can we can argue that something was destroyed there.
Wasn't the explosion on the outside, the exterior? None of it actually.
Yes,
Yes,
but
but-
that doesn't mean that stuff inside the elevator didn't get demolished because of the explosion.
Yeah, it blew the roof off, so definitely some of that explosion went inside.
Okay, considering Mike will probably be the one lying and Grim playing backup, how do you two feel about lying to the cops about stuff getting explodinated?
Well, given that was
I
more
just-
or less what I was going to say about the comm links and so forth, that they got lost in the scuffle, they're probably broken.
Oh, down the elevator shaft.
That
Actually,
would be slightly more challenging. The top of the elevator is broken, not the bottom.
want me to maybe make that whole breaking scenario a little bit more realistic? I mean, I have a boot.
Well, there's two Nexi in the elevator. You could smash one and take the other.
One got left actually on the ground floor, two are in the elevator.
That's what I said. Two are in
Oh.
the elevator.
Oh,
Smash
sorry,
one
yes.
and take the other.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. But then there's still the one on the ground floor that the cops will be getting.
I just say don't be greedy. More evidence the cops have, the less likely they have to look at us for missing evidence. Or the less we have to lie about.
And the less likely it is that they end up looking a lot closer at certain parts of our stories.
I would also simply point out that we're already, just for the bounty on these three, going to each be pocketing 30 grand. We don't need to get too crazy with this.
Well,
Yeah.
what about Prodigy's... I don't remember...
$100,000
Yeah.
down payment.
How exactly
Oh,
did...
yeah, sorry.
Was it 100 or was it...
Was
Yeah, it was
100K.
100.
It
Yeah.
was.
So, yeah, just reminding you all about that sort of thing.
I had, believe it or not, completely forgot about that.
Yeah. I haven't. These are
What's-
each worth approximately 30,000 new yen. Approximately. And have also got extremely strong, processor and Signal, which would be nice on its own.
If I recall correctly, the parameter on that deal was that we owed you to help you get that back if that 1K didn't fall through.
The statement that I made was that I will be paid back by the end of this mission. That was the statement I made. I specifically
That's an argument that can happen at another time, but yes,
Yeah.
you all, if you want to be decent human beings or, professional Shadowrunners, you owe Prodigy. If you want to welch on that, you have that power. Just realize that there are repercussions for welching on something of that.
Whiskey has well learned
Yeah.
not to welch on money owed, so she will pay whatever Prodigy asked.
It's good to hear.
Prodigy wants Whiskey's body.
No,
That is
Prodigy wants
negotiable.
Financial compensation. I think you of all people, with the whole there's a giant company that thinks that you're dead, would not want to get on Prodigy's bad side.
Yeah, the thing is that
Probably
Prodigy
know
doesn't
that.
know anything about that.
I mean, he has your name, and as soon as he's gotten any other name, he's rolled. I just haven't made any rolls because out of character, I already knew the answer. So technically, you're right at the moment, but that's also because Prodigy hasn't been wronged and has no reason to think that he was.
Mhm. Well, the thing is, here's the thing, though. If you get the more of this you want to try to get for Prodigy, or Prodigy wants to get for himself, the more likely it is to get us all fucked on this.
It potentially will, but at the same time, it also might not. Also, just don't forget his
And
access to critical
Whiskey would
stuff.
ask Mike, you think I should leave the axe, or... I mean, it is a nice axe, and I just got my sword broke. Suppose I could use this thing, but it's clunky as hell.
The combat axe is not terribly expensive or hard to get. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll take a little bit of time, but
Ah, yeah,
I can
fair
please
wait
enough.
for a while.
I mean, like, if she takes the combat axe, the police aren't really, I think, going to be a big deal of not inventorying that as evidence.
But still, it's good to leave every one of them with a melee weapon.
What about the skin web arrays? Those take too long?
How many of those do you want?
I mean, I guess all of them only have one, so it's going to take a while to to take any of these off them, aren't they?
No, the skin web arrays are literally just kind of like chainmail vests. They just sort of pulled them on over themselves after getting dressed.
Oh, okay. Then as many as we can get safely, because like apparently they've got. I don't know what it means for elemental resistance acidity and all that. I'm guessing it just means that the item itself won't take damage. Is that correct?
That doesn't impart any bonus to the person. That is specifically for the item itself. It's a very robust item.
I see.
So, Whiskey, West End Mike, what are you doing as far as those skin link webs?
Unless asked about, Whiskey will take them off. Because, once again, she's rather paranoid about them doing things. But otherwise, she would not take them unless asked for. Since they don't fit her anyway.
BT, I believe you said that all drugs would be considered just injected into the sisters. There wouldn't be any drugs left on them.
No, they took one dose each of Kamikaze, Jazz, and Cram. And I had originally planned for them to take the magical compounds, but I realize I didn't actually do that. So we've got kind of a double-edged problem here. I specifically gave them these compounds to make them extra difficult to defeat. However, Whiskey ended up fighting Ariel on her own. And if Ariel had both of those up during that battle, it would not have gone at all nicely for Whiskey.
It
So
didn't go nicely for me right now. So
yes, exactly. So the issue I have here is that you were supposed to have just one spirit strength and one immortal flower left over as a reward for the hard work of defeating the Remora sisters. However, I forgot to douse them with those drugs, which means they weren't as challenging as they were supposed to be, to wit, I should not theoretically be giving you that level of reward. So, recognizing the magical compounds will be a pretty big challenge. Mike has his little device that might help him with that, but I'd have
But
to
there is a
ask-
mage chemist in the group.
But are they going to grab those things not knowing what they are?
I guess if they'll like go, if they come across any like strange compounds or chemicals on the bodies, they could quickly just give Pirate a look, and she can try to identify it visually, which is going to be difficult to do.
So Mike and Pirate, you two both get your opportunity. Mike, it's your data search plus the bonus from your mage library, I think it's called.
Yeah,
And
something like that.
for Pirate, you would be rolling one of your magical knowledges.
Gonna guess the magical theory then over magical traditions.
These are definitely not traditions.
So yeah, magical theory then.
Oh, and be sure to declare which one you're rolling for, Spirit Strength or Immortal Flower.
All right.
That
Which one
same
was
for
that
me,
first?
or am I
Yeah,
rolling for both?
No, for both of you. So what was that first roll, West End Mike?
I guess that would be for the Immortal Flower. That'd probably be the one I'd find first since it's on Ariel. Not that it mattered. Identical results.
Okay, so yeah, you're just going to think it's some pretty looking flower. I mean, the Remoras are girls. It's strange that they have, you know, that flower petals for some reason. Whatever. And for the other one,
Can I roll Shadow Community to see if I recognize them?
absolutely not.
Okay, that's fair.
These things are not that common. The fact that these girls have them is, oh, are you re-rolling?
I have two. I think.
Okay, well, in that case, Pirate, at first you're just like, okay, they've got flower petals, whoop-de-doo. And then
It's
you
like,
look
wait,
at the,
what?
then you look at the mushrooms and you're like, wait a minute. Well, I've heard of magic mushrooms, but... And now, Pirate, you're going to think, wait, I should look at these in the astral.
So I guess quick projection then down there.
All right, and give me an sensing, one for each again. Wow, bravo. Okay, so,
This is her wheelhouse.
yep. So the flowers are pretty fresh, and the mushrooms are decently fresh, and they still have a magical aura signature about them. And the flowers, while you've never personally ever had the opportunity to use Immortal Flower yourself, um,
She
you, you
wouldn't.
you can definitely tell something about these flowers. Even though the petals have been plucked from the plant, they are still vibrantly alive in the astral.
Okay, and the mushrooms, I'm just looking off. Probably gonna guess they just look like awakened mushrooms.
Yeah, they're definitely awakened mushrooms. They could be, as far as you're aware, just a
Fungus.
recreational drug, but you got 5 hits. No, you can tell these look like pretty hardy mushrooms. Like, you know, the fact that the woman landed on top of the pouch, which the mushroom is inside, and the mushroom isn't squished. This is an oddly hardy mushroom.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Okay, so I'm not identifying what they are by name, just know that these are decently powered magical botna.
Yeah, they're parabotany, they're parabotanicals.
Okay.
Your response would probably be, "Hey, grab those. I'm not sure exactly what those are. But I can find out later, and they'll be valuable."
Yeah, that's some, I would just say that's some parabotany, or botanical, stuff like that. You probably want to pocket that, but, just to be on the safe side, you probably don't want to have skin-to-skin contact with that.
Parabolo, what now?
Magical plants, sis.
Oh, okay. Like 4-leaf clovers back home.
Out of character, there are glades where 4-leaf clovers are actually magical.
Yeah. Think they actually have an effect of affecting your edge somehow, right?
There aren't any rules for it, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, I'd say that sounds acceptable to suggest that there are, like, if you do the correct magical ritual on the 4-leaf clover, it could be used in such a way.
Yeah. So yeah, but like just like Pirate said, you probably want to be wary of skin contact, inhalation. Just be careful when when you're grabbing these and where you're putting those. Because fiddling with magical plants you've yet to identify is better to err on the side of caution.
Okay, so I'm just going to make a note here. That's all of the awakened compounds you want to take, correct? Not leaving any for the police?
I'm leaving it. I just told Mike to grab them. How much he
So,
wants to
Mike?
grab is...
Mike, you then?
Oh, I'm fine grabbing something that small, just grabbing all of them. They're not going to notice.
Okay, so anything else going on this list?
Nope.
I think we are good.
Like I said, unless Whiskey really wants to grab that combat axe.
No, Wes and Mike made a good point that she can buy a new one.
So, I'm guessing that the goggles... Sorry, actually, can we just add all 3 comlinks? No, never mind. That's really risky, I guess. Never mind.
Yeah, that one comlink getting broken or lost in the scuffle, entirely believable. All 3?
Yeah. Oh well.
Also note, are there actually any cameras around where we are?
It's mine.
There actually were cameras inside the foyer, the elevator, the hallways. It's just that they were all being jammed. That was the other thing I wanted to ask of you, Twister. Once Prodigy gained control, would he continue to jam anyone in particular?
Yes. The one individual I specifically said don't...
Okay, so you're jamming Wolf.
Yes.
Okay, but are you jamming anyone else? Are you jamming the cops? Are you jamming the building security?
It's a good question. I think I'd continue jamming the Tridio team, actually. Because or did I
No,
successfully
no.
stop
You,
that?
you were specifically told that was a priority to not have
Okay.
them jammed.
Okay, so I did successfully not have it jammed.
Correct. That was included on your list of 10 things you were unjamming.
Okay. So I'm leaving Lillian Kimmel, Wolf Davy, Lawrence, um, yeah, I guess I'll leave the police jammed as well for right now.
Please jam
Okay,
building security as well, because if they just
Yeah.
have security records of us stealing their shit, all of
And
this is
I guess
pointless.
the cameras that...
So in that case, you're still leaving the jammer running at full capacity.
Yeah.
You're just making sure your team is
Yeah.
immune.
Yeah, I guess so. And I'm just leaving the one that we're not touching.
So the one that's being left in the elevator or the one that's being left on the ground floor?
I guess the one on the ground floor.
Okay,
Or
could you roll-
no, I'll choose the one on the elevator.
And you'll tell Mike and Whiskey not to destroy it then?
Oh shoot, yeah, that's right. I guess the one on the ground floor, even though that they'll get to that one first and turn it off, so we're gonna have a lot less time of radio silence from their end, at least. Because that's the exchange. Yeah, okay, the one on the ground floor. Let's tell them to destroy the other one.
Well, we don't have to destroy the one on the elevator. We can just, I mean, it'll probably survive a few kicks and then stent it and shit.
Potentially.
But you need material to
Yeah.
lie to the cops saying, well, I guess this was that device. Unless you're
Yeah.
going to smash something else that looks like it.
Fair enough.
So we're gonna have to destroy that one.
Actually, roll common sense. Prodigy, you just do it, and if you don't get this, we'll ask other people to roll it.
Okay, and that's logic plus willpower,
Intuition.
intuition. I don't know how I never remember.
The white noise generators, all three of them are still on the Sisters. They're not as big or as complex as the Nexi are, but the Nexi were slapped together from used parts as far as you can tell. You know, some of it was military grade, of course, but still, if you smash all three of those white noise generators, that might do the trick.
It's a much better idea. The white noise generators are also a lot less valuable. To the
Unless
scale.
you really like punk music.
But yeah, you can get that from these from the jammers. You can turn off the jam and then it's got that massive signal still, so you can still use it for that purpose. But the difference is that the Nexus, the boom boxes are worth something about like 100 times more, or 10. Yeah, it's about 100 times more than the white noise generators. So let's destroy those instead.
And the skin web arrays, what's the plan with those?
Take the one off, the one that's injured and got in the fight, so we have an excuse. How's that sound?
Well, Whiskey
I think
has
that's okay.
stripped them off, all of them, so...
Oh, score. All right, I'll take it.
So he'll take one?
Oh, we'll take all three, because the police haven't seen anything on them because the cameras were all jammed.
If the rest of the team okays that?
There's
As
literally
long
no
as it
reason-
doesn't bite us in the ass.
There's literally no reason why they'd think that they'd exist because... Actually, my question is, how do the police drones, for lack of a better term, keep chase? Do they just have a really good anti-jamming materials?
Or they were told to fly on basic instructions, pursue target, AI, operate.
Oh,
So-
okay, that's fair. With the VIs or something of the like. Alright. So they were inside of the vehicle the entire time. So hopefully nothing was actually seen on their person. So I guess we'll take those.
All right, so is that the final list then? The chainsaw, Ariel's comlink, the boombox, Slatvana's goggles, Svetlana's headphones, Nira's grenade, approximately one half of Ariel's grenades, approximately one half of all of the drugs, all of the awakened compounds, and all 3 skin web arrays. Anything else?
I might suggest the medkits, but that's up to Mike and...
Med
Whiskey.
kits are cheap as fuck. I mean, you people should just be
Yeah.
buying them with your spare change.
Well,
Cheap as fuck and probably easy to get because, you know, medical.
It's
No.
not regulated.
Yeah, you don't need a license for a med kit. Hell, Mike has a nanotechnology med kit, for fuck's sakes.
Oh, those are
Admittedly, that one
ridiculous.
was a little pricey.
It was only 600, wasn't it?
Oh no,
650
not
is
the
the base
Savior
rate.
med kit.
Oh, I thought it was the same one that... thought it was the same one I used when you conked your head.
No, a basic rating 6 medkit costs 600 and has an availability of 0. The Savior Nanotech medkit is over 3 times that price and actually does have an availability roll, but it works a lot better if you're trying to save somebody's life. It's also
Mhm.
fairly expensive to refill with nanite stuff.
We should just stick with what we're grabbing because this is already a lot of stuff we're trying to loot.
That's fine with me. So,
Okay,
Okay.
so now comes the fact that in character you would have had to discuss this a bit. The cops are on their way. Whiskey has to make the call. Does she stay and smash the white noise generators? Does she ask Mike to do that? How are you going to manage your time?
I'd suggest Mike, because Mike is also... Yeah, Mike would also probably be a lot better at explaining himself, and also not be carrying things that's going to get us in a ton of trouble.
Bear in mind, Mike is like a third as strong as Whiskey.
True, but we don't really need to have them understand that completely. I don't think they're going to know exactly how strong he is compared to exactly how strong she is.
No, I mean, Whiskey could smash the white noise generators way quicker than Mike could. So the chances of Mike getting caught in the process of still smashing them is very high. The chances of Whiskey getting caught are significantly lower, but she's also carrying all these stolen goods. So that's the choice you have to make
just
here.
go ahead up. Grab anything that we're keeping and just get out of here.
Alright, by your orders, boss.
Mike, meanwhile, is not dumb enough to try and do that barehanded, and he grabs the mace off of Ariel and uses that to smash them.
So what is your club's skill?
Pretty much non-existent. Let's see here. Clubs. Defaulting gives me a 4.
Also, another
Sorry, go ahead.
risky idea what we could do, we could stash all the stuff that we want for ourselves somewhere on this level quickly, and then fetch it later.
That is super risky.
That is super risky.
Would anyone like to make a common sense roll?
Yeah, that's gonna be cut so quickly. That's gonna be cut so quickly.
So, Prodigy, why don't you have Whiskey smash one of the white
Yeah,
noise generators,
I was
pass
going
the
to
mace off, and then run off?
I was literally going to say that when the conversation of stashing some away came up. So whiskey break 1, and then leave, and then that gives Mike some time to start one, and then complete that one and the second one.
Well, yeah, I think Whiskey could easily smash it since he has a club skill of 10 and a pretty high strength score, so...
Right. So go ahead and roll your clubs -1 because the mace has a personalized grip that is not personalized to you. Oh, and actually you're a metahuman and it is not, so that's a further -2, I believe. So you're at -3 total. That's still more than twice what Mike would have.
So I'm guessing in Whiskey's hand, this mace is more like a maraca.
Not a maraca, but I mean, it's meant as a two-handed weapon for a regular human. So she can hold it one-handed, but it would be more like a billy club rather than a proper battle mace. All right. So, Whiskey, what's your
Strength?
damage?
11.
No, I just want to see what your damage would be with something like that. So that'll be 11 total versus this thing's structural integrity. So, that is just enough to destroy one of the, like, you just crack it in half. Do you want to mash it up a bit more so it's unrecognizable, or drop the mace and go?
Mike, just put your foot through it a few more times and you're good with that. Shell's cracked at least.
Desperado?
Say what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Basically, Whiskey says that, well, she's cracked the shell of this thing. It's broken, but not completely smashed. So she just basically goes like, just put your foot through this 1 or 2 times and you're good to go, I think.
All right. Mike will take the mace and continue wheeling on it a little and then try another.
Okay, and Whiskey, you're running upstairs. Well, you're moving upstairs with all the gear.
Yep.
Okay, Mike. Let's say you're going to have a chance to make 5 more rolls here before the cops burst onto the scene, or 6 if you want to still have the mace in your hand when they arrive.
That's fine. I mean, these things are screwing with their comms, so if I am caught smashing them, I have a pretty good excuse.
Okay, so go ahead with your clubs at a -1 because it is personalized grip, not personalized for you.
Truly, I would imagine Merchant Mike's hands would be quite ladylike.
Yeah, but the Remoras weren't.
Fair point.
Having a vagina doesn't make you a lady. That is not a real glitch. You're not scoring any bonus damage here. What is your strength? It's 3?
Actually, thanks to the kamikaze, which I don't think is flushed out of my system yet, it's 5.
Ah, okay. So then in that case, um, that would be a deduction of 2, so 6 physical. Oh, you're rolling the other ones as well already?
At least the first few, yeah, there you go. So 0,
So,
1, 1, 1.
okay, was all of this on the one that's already broken, or when are you shifting over to a new target?
I would imagine it would only take 1 or 2 swings on the first one to make it look thoroughly unrecognizable.
So 2 swings on the first one, then your next 2 swings are on the next?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 swings will eventually crack the casing on the next one, and as I said, you can get 1 more swing in without the cops catching you red-handed, or 2 more swings if you don't mind the cops catching you with the mace.
How is it looking after that 5th swing?
Both of them are now looking about the same as far as dismantled. There's still a third one that isn't even damaged.
I'll go ahead and start on that one with my 6th swing, and, like I said, I'll just explain I'm trying to stop these things from broadcasting.
Okay, and whew. Well, that one you basically you hit it on the corner, and it actually ends up bouncing up and hitting the wall, just as the cops come up and they draw their guns and say, "Drop the weapon," and
Which I do.
and you do,
And,
and
quick explanation. Those things are screwing with their comms. I was trying to destroy them.
so go ahead and give us a con.
I have a question. Is that an actual con? Has anybody been told
Those-
Desperado that these are the things that those
No,
aren't
no.
things?
Mike knows at this point that the white noise generators are not actually affecting the comms. It's the fancy dancy box which Whiskey's already brought upstairs.
Well, they were at one point, but they're not now.
The question
In any
I'll
event.
also have is where will Whiskey bring it upstairs? Because, yeah, I have to stash it somewhere.
Holy shit! How much edge do you have left?
Not a 1.
Is this a
Wow.
situation where you're willing to burn, or do you want to get caught lying to the cops?
I will risk it because, I can... Just because they don't believe that lie doesn't mean they won't believe any of my lies, I hope.
Well, they're going to basically, ask you to get on the ground, etc., etc., and they are going to search you. And you said you had the drugs and the grenades on yourself.
Probably not, but, I have my own stuff on me, and that's plenty illegal on its own.
Okay.
I think you're gonna probably want to burn an edge just so you don't get frisk.
Well, I mean, if they find it, like the handgun, yes, I'm working for Alderman Parsons on as private security. We weren't going to take on the remorse with tasers.
So basically, they're going to start confiscating restricted items, things they won't recognize as like shade, but It looks like it's a drug, so they'll take it to be on the safe side. Nitro, they're going to recognize. Kamikaze, are you all out, or did you still have any left? I think you're all out, aren't you?
No, I have one of each. One jazz, one kamikaze, a
Two
guts,
Nitro?
and 2 nitro. Yeah.
Okay.
Although I don't know if I was actually carrying those on me. I don't typically use those.
Well, guts is no problem. The Nitro, well, you were carrying though, because you just used them before running downstairs.
No, not the jazz and kamikaze were definitely on me. The nitro though is not because it because it's so devastating when it wears off. I don't know if I would have been carrying those.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Still,
they definitely got one jazz and one kamikaze for sure.
Yeah. And like basically they will confiscate things like your grenades and such, because those aren't invisible, even if the grenade launcher itself is.
Well, the grenade launcher itself is upstairs with Grim.
Oh, right. You left that with her. Okay. However, only one cop's going to be spending time with you. You're compliant. You're agreeable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not fighting them or anything.
All the other cops are focusing on the remoras, while 3 more cops are heading upstairs at first. Then they get the call, and the guy who was confiscating your stuff, like, he's trapped in AR for a couple of seconds, and then he eventually pulls your stuff back out of the baggies and says, apparently I'm to give these back to you. You can tell he's not impressed, but he's following some orders that he's apparently received. And once you've got all your stuff back, he goes and helps the others with the remoras.
All right, I will thank him and then get myself back upstairs.
You will cross paths with the cops who were heading upstairs, who turn around and start heading back down to also secure the remoras.
Got it.
Just a wolf called them off.
No. Grim did last session. Remember, she called her boss, and her boss said, okay, I'll do what I can to pull some strings, but you're going to owe me big time for this.
I forgot about that.
And Grim said, don't worry, boss. I'm going to be doing paperwork with you for a month. And he's like, yeah, it'll probably be a bit more than that, but good to have you, on the right side of the law here, even if we're, doing some dodgy shit. It's for a good cause. That's what he's telling himself.
We're bending the rules a little bit, but we're not the remoras.
Basically, he's going to leverage it into a, it was his department's, the initiative of one of his top detectives in his department led to the successful capture of the remoras without any additional loss of life, yada, yada, yada. He's playing the politician, as a chief of police sometimes has to.
And to be fair, even if the cops knew we were overarmed Shadowrunners, the fact that we're forking over the remoras,
the cops themselves
something tells me they turn a blind eye.
Well, if they've got orders to do it, some of them are really straight-laced guys. They want to nail every bad guy to the wall. It doesn't matter how big or small. But Mike, on your way up the stairs, you don't have to take the stairs all by yourself. There is the other elevator as well. So do you want to run all the way back up using the stairs, or do you want to get in the elevator?
I'll grab the elevator, and if I happen to run into Lawrence, so much the better.
Okay, so you'll be with Lawrence. Good. Whiskey, you want to stash your ill-gotten gain. Where are you going to do that?
Yes, that was a question. And Whiskey does come up with an idea on there. And he kind of texts the team, like, hey, where did we ever find where Parson hides his knives?
We, not 100%, but we believe it's in the secret room that's in his bathroom. And that's out of character, by the way.
Yeah, no,
Is anyone
someone
going
knows
to
it, I
tell
see.
Whiskey in character.
I don't...
There's some little something
You-
inside Parsons' bathroom. I don't know if there's any storage in there or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of watched where he came in and out and changed in to him using a drone, so I know exactly where it is and everything. So it's on the opposite side of, the main entrance. But if you can go in through there, stash everything through the exit that he uses, we're in a good position.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
what
yeah,
I'm
hey,
thinking.
Any other side,
Except
though.
Whiskey would be walking past everyone with a chainsaw and other stuff.
And
Like-
this.
Yeah.
Just stick him
Passing
up on the
this.
roof.
Sorry, yes, here's my question. How does he get out of there and past everyone else without getting detected? There's a second end to it, isn't there?
It's probably a secret.
I did state it was a lift.
It's probably an
where?
secret escape way for
Right
VIPs.
next to the other elevator. It's right next to the other elevator. It leads to... Well, actually, you guys haven't actually gone into it yet. You don't know where it leads. All you know is it's a lift.
Fair enough.
But I believe either Mike or Desperado, not sure if it was in character or not, suggested to Whiskey, stash it on the roof. We'll get it later.
That would have been in character.
All right, then on the roof it goes. So yeah, she heads up to the roof to kind of stash it there, hopefully somewhere where it's somewhat out of sight.
It immediately gets stolen by a Wolverine.
Weirvin, or however you pronounce it, yeah. Okay. Grim, Lillian was also waking up around the same time that Whiskey will be moving past you. So, did you want to interrogate her, or just tell her, keep quiet, we'll handle you later? Right, I don't know, I don't remember. What was it that Grim had said last week? Something about blowing a hole through her or something? Does anyone remember? Anyone at all?
Sorry, no, I
recall
don't
seeing
remember
anything.
any interaction between the... Well, besides fighting, I don't remember interaction between the two.
Oh no,
Yeah, sorry, I
yeah.
don't recall.
You noticed she was waking up when we were starting to get all get into position in here, and you told her if she started to do anything while she's tied up and awake, you put more bullet holes into her.
Something along the lines of, I see you, Sleeping Beauty. Best keep to yourself, or we'll put these holes back in ya. Okay. It seems that I lost some of the chat logs. Unless I was just looking in the wrong place.
Well, do the exact details matter? Like, we get the idea.
That's true. Right, okay. So, yeah, it looks like I lost the chat log. Fuck. I wish this thing was a little more reliable about remembering, but it is what it is. But yeah, so you're basically telling her, I'll handle you later.
Might be handy for someone to make a roll to see if there's money on her head somewhere.
God, we're just trying. You can't be looting everyone like this is D&D.
No,
No,
I
I'm not
think
saying money,
a
if there's
bounty.
money on her head.
a bounty.
Exactly.
Oh.
And Prodigy attempted to do her facial recognition, but his software didn't get any hits and requested uploading her photo to the network so that it could get a better chance of finding a hit. And he said, no, and stopped that program from connecting to the Matrix.
It was a good call.
Maybe Sybil could give it a try. I mean, she can do those hacker things as well, right?
Well, how about, if Grim's up there with her, how about Grim just asks her who she really is? I mean, if we can get a name, that might help. I'm sure Grim has interrogated suspects before.
Grim is just keeping watch at the moment. She doesn't want to get distracted with an interrogation right now. But yeah, Mike, you'd basically be riding up the elevator with Lawrence now that you have all notified Lawrence. You know you don't have to take the stairs all the way. And, he apologizes for dropping the coffee and the drinks. And, Whiskey, where were you planning to be? Because right now you're in the way of the the hollow, the Tridio device. So.
Oh yeah, that was because they were having the battle upstairs. No, she would be going through the stairway, heading to the roof then.
Yeah, and after you're done in the roof, where are you going to be?
Returning to the vestibule level, basically.
Okay. Pirate, you're staying in the vestibule as well, or what?
Pretty much, I'm going in the vestibule and just making sure no one it's in the stairwell comes in yet.
Okay. So then you'll be doing an aura reading on Grim, on Whiskey, on Mike, on Lawrence, and
Yeah.
Do you want to also make a roll to read the aura of Lillian?
When I first walk in and I get a read on everybody, see who's who, I'm gonna go like, how messed up and bloody does she look? Because she did take some high explosive rounds, so I'm kind of curious on her physical condition.
There is blood stains on her clothing, but you'll have to make an sensing roll to determine beyond that.
Okay.
Also, well, if Grim is not going to do it, Whiskey might be up for a quick interrogation.
Okay, 3 hits on a sensing roll. My book is not responding. Oh, there it goes. 3 hits means... God, how many pages do I have to go back here? 3 hits means... the general state of the subject's health, they're healthy. Despite having taken bullets, they are healed. Emotional state or impression, very upset in a sort of angry way, anxious, wanting to be elsewhere. The subject is mundane. The subject has cyberware implants all over her body. Like, she's got artificial limbs. Her skull is a series of plates that can move and shift.
Yeah, the Fey Weave thing I identified.
The what?
The Fey Mask thing.
No, not a Fey mask. Fey is magical.
That was on Killjoy.
Oh, right. Sorry,
Yes. On Lillian, she has a jigsaw skull. Basically, her
That's what it
entire
was, yeah.
skull can reconfigure. You haven't seen her aura before. She has alphaware implants. Her essence is very, very low. She's definitely done a huge number on herself with all these implants. She doesn't seem to have any serious diseases, and there are no astral signatures present on her.
Going to just go like, Grim, before you do that, anyone coming up that you lost...
Grim hasn't actually... if Grim says something, I have to read it out loud, so... What Grim says is, if you guys have her, I'm going to go keep watch and keep up appearance that we know what we're doing. Hope no one minds if I fucking bleed on them, and she heads back to the main room. So, Pirate, you can confirm that Grim's aura is still the same as ever.
Yeah.
How's she going to get in, though?
I went through, remember?
Yeah, but you didn't hold the door open.
Well, yeah, I didn't lock the door, though.
Yeah, no, but it's an automatic door.
Oh.
Still, Grim, you can be there for now, and Lawrence is on his way, so...
And I will scan Lawrence as we're coming up the lift with my ultra-wideband radar, which also doubles as a cyberware detector.
Yeah, and I'm telling Graham that every person we've lost sight on because we still have to deal with Tuesday, we need to scan any person we've lost visual contact with whatever she has as a scanner. Because I know because I'm going to tell her straight up, I know you're Grim, because according to with what Pirate understands and knows, and she's going to just point toward Grim's metal arm and just go like, you wouldn't be able to fake that.
Also, would you mind maybe if I take our other prisoner to the roof and ask her some questions before the cops get a chance to ask some questions?
Don't break anything. By the way, she's perfectly healthy right now.
Well, then I can break a bunch more before she isn't perfectly healthy.
Pirate, why don't you roll common sense?
Yeah, not gonna make sense. It's just like she's a bit. It's like God, she got worse. And
Also mind that she's on Jets right now, or Jazz right now, so...
Pirate, you would tell your little sister absolutely not. No one is interrogating any of the assassins without significant backup. For now, we've got her locked up in the stairwell. She's healthy. If we try to take her out of the stairwell, there's a very good chance she'll just escape. Leave her where she is.
Yeah, so that's all
And
Pirate's gonna say.
keep a gun trained on her, but stay far enough away that she won't be able to grab the gun out of your hand if she gets out of her handcuffs. Because her arms are completely mechanical. There's a good chance she'll just fold her thumbs into her limbs and pull them out of the handcuffs.
Or just pop the things off and just run.
Yeah, no, she's only in those handcuffs because she doesn't want to be out of those handcuffs yet.
Oh, if I also recall correctly, yeah, Grim also handcuffed her feet together.
And her legs are also artificial.
Yeah.
So, Pirate, in your opinion, this woman is mechanical enough that these restraints are probably more for show at this point if she really wanted to escape.
And I would also point out the fact that it's very possibly likely that the handcuffs are probably already unlocked. They're just there for sure right now. So just make sure she doesn't get away.
If they were unlocked, Grim would get a notification. Because even handcuffs are wirelessly linked in the future.
Okay, I didn't know the handcuffs have been upgraded that much in the future. But okay, sweet.
Yeah,
That's
there'd
good to
even
know.
be a little display light, like green for unlocked, red for locked. So, something to be aware of.
But that can be hacked.
It could be hacked if the device wasn't slaved to Grim's comlink.
Yeah.
It could be spoofed, but still, at the moment, according to Grimm's comlink, those handcuffs are still locked and they're still in place. Despite that, Pirate, you feel confident that this woman could literally detach her thumbs and pull her wrists through the cuffs without having to unlock them.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I was telling her, just exactly what you said, and that just hand her over to the police. That way if she escapes, it's not our fault, it's theirs.
Alright, but keep a gun trained on her currently. Alright. And Whiskey keeps the shotgun that Grim gave her on firmly pointed at the prisoner.
I recall you always enjoying making the local enforcers look like idiots, or anyone in any kind of official power looking like an idiot. So if she escapes on their watch, they'll look like idiots.
Yep, but I figure we could have maybe made some extra noise in here, but well, hopefully the cops will be appreciative. Doubt it.
Well, the cops probably will be, because if she have a bounty, they would tell us.
So while this
we
whole
get-
conversation's happening, Mike, go ahead and roll 8 SR4 for your ultra wideband radar. You know, you weren't really sure, but I guess Lawrence's cyberware is pretty high quality because it looks like it melds pretty significantly into his body.
Well, the big point is, can I actually pick it up on the scanner?
Well, your comm link, if you bother to check that, will say that, well, he's got signals saying that he's got cyberware, but your ultra wideband radar, just looking at it, would look like an organic body for the most part. Like high quality Deltaware would show up like that.
We've already had him scanned and stuff like that, though.
Did you scan him with ultra wideband radar? I don't think you did.
No, but don't we also have his medical sheet?
No, you never got his medical.
I thought we had something that explained everything that Lawrence had done to him.
You got the list of his chips for his cyberware. So you know his chips are broadcasting for his cyberware.
And there's absolutely no way somebody could just stuff themselves with a pocket full of RFID chips and program them to all say that they're loaded up with software.
How paranoid is West End Mike?
Pretty darn paranoid right now.
So will he give a heads up to Grimm saying, I want you to double check Lawrence when we get upstairs? Or are you just going to immediately assume Lawrence is not who he appears to be?
Well, first I would probably then try the nonlinear junction detector, wave that kind of over him, and see what where that picks up electronics.
Roll a common sense for me, Mike. If this is Tuesday, and you're alone with Tuesday, and you figure out it's Tuesday, or you at least seem to no longer trust that it's Lawrence, what do you think's going to happen to you?
Excellent point. We should probably hold up on additional scans until we have more people. But yeah, I will, neural text Grim and the others. My scanner's not actually picking up any cyberware on Lawrence. So either he's got really good cyberware or something else is afoot. We'll need to do metal detectors and stuff when he gets up.
They probably would. Okay, I'll be ready in case something happens.
And Grim says, Andy dropped the coffee.
We really need that coffee.
That's a shooting offense right there.
Can Sybil do a scan through Mike?
For signals?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, especially
But-
since I have that same gizmo has a radio signal scanner in it.
Yep. So go ahead and use your scan complex form if you've got it. But Mike, you're basically going to be telling this Lawrence he's got the all clear, right? You scanned him once and you're like, okay, it's you. Or is that what you're doing or not?
I'll tell him my scanner must have taken a whack in the fight with the Remoras. Because it's not really giving me anything.
Okay, so you're telling him that. Go ahead and roll a con.
Do I get my software bonus for this one?
Yes.
So out of character, stun bolt or bind him?
Well, the thing is, we kind of still want Tuesday to succeed, right? So technically we should not stop him.
Not exactly. We want Tuesday to be stopped so he doesn't kill
Parsons, yeah,
That's his
but
job.
Yeah.
Twister,
and
do you remember
Lawrence,
that? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Bob.
Remember, Lawrence was supposed to take the fall by dying on the scene. Lawrence is now out of the picture.
Out of character, not in character.
Yeah.
But Twister, do you remember the message I sent you in BBM?
When?
It's in the group chat today. You said something, and I made a specific reply to you about Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, just keep that in mind because it's coming up. But yeah, so Sybil, your scan is going to tell you that he's emitting signals that say he's got cyberware where he's supposed to have cyberware. Roll a memory roll, Sybil.
With or without penalties?
Is she at -2 for memory as well?
-3.
Oof.
With or without the penalties?
Sorry, I muted myself to talk. It is -2 for the distraction to everything, and -1 to everything from the physical or stun damage, whichever
Physical.
it was. Physical, yeah. The only thing those do not reduce are damage resistance rolls.
Yeah, she's not remembering too much right now because she's distracted.
I think we're pretty clean on Lawrence. If he was going to pick the person he was supposed to shoot to stand right next to his main target of Parson, it'd be a really stupid move on his part. I made a joke earlier when I said it was Lawrence. Lawrence is supposed to be one of his 2 victims. Remind everyone of that.
Unless, of course, Lawrence is already dead.
If he's already dead, he's failed his mission.
Or if Davy lied to you. I don't understand why you
True.
people keep thinking Davy is an honest guy here.
Yeah,
just
and
because
honestly-
he says he's an honest guy.
Basically, and honestly, what Whiskey's idea was, if we find Tuesday, she would basically go to him, hey, keep going with your mission, but know that Wolf guy, he is going to betray you. So maybe shoot him instead for screwing you over.
We will see what happens if that gets to be a chance for that to happen. But we're at the point. We're at West End Mike coming up the stairs with Lawrence. Pirate, you sense them. Their auras look good to you.
Huh?
So are you letting them in?
At the moment, yeah.
Well, like I said, at this point, I want Grim to do a metal detector sweep, and I'll do a sweep with a non-linear junction detector.
Whiskey, if you're standing there, you're standing in the pit of the stairwell. The stairs go
Yeah,
around
well, the basic idea is that, she stays close to Lydia and keeps that gun on her.
Remember, though, Pirate said don't be too close. We don't want Lillian to grab the gun.
Yeah, okay.
Or the chain axe.
You
The
do
chain
have
axe
a
is on
metal
the roof.
Grim, your arm is a metal detector. We went through this. Oh, you don't want to, you're saying. I'm pretty sure that information was shared with the group when you were discussing assets you all had. Damn it.
Well, Western Mike is on so many drugs, maybe he won't remember any of this.
So many drugs, which is 2. And one of them's the same one you're on.
Yeah, but you don't have a constitution.
Okay,
This
so
is true.
you've got the nonlinear junction detector as a nether sensor, correct?
Correct.
That one's rating 6.
Yep.
So go ahead and roll 12 SR4 for that. Grim, you've got the MAD sensor if you're willing to use it. Its rating is what? 4, so you'd roll 8. Okay, so Mike. Well, actually, let's start with Grim. Grim, with those 3 hits, he either has non-metallic cyberware, aka Deltaware, maybe Betaware, which isn't showing up on your scanner. However, you've had conversations with Lawrence. Not all of his implants are high quality. He still has some old stuff from back when he lived on the streets. That stuff isn't showing up. Mike, with 6 hits on the nonlinear junction detector, yeah, no, there is no cyberware on this guy. There are definite chips that are basically taped to his body that are broadcasting signals, but there is no cyberware.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Grim says, so you dropped the coffee? That's a shame. I was really looking forward to that. And Lawrence is like, yeah, well, I mean, come on. The boss is in danger. I thought, boss's life's more important than coffee.
Out of character. That's way too smart of a thing for Lawrence to say.
Grim says, I know, I'm teasing you, says flatly, seeing her joke fell flat. Is Whiskey sending that as a text message, El Diablo?
No,
You
that's
haven't
an OOC
impersonated,
comment.
So, okay. Well, be sure to impersonate when you are Whiskey.
Oh yeah,
To be
I
fair,
will
that
do that.
actually would be a really good idea for a way to knock him out if we want to.
It would, but as I said, if it's Tuesday, he will probably say no.
Grim says, at least you missed out on that fun elevator nonsense. And by fun, it wasn't fun at all. She would then twist her hip slightly and raise her armor a bit to show her red-stained shirt under. And it's a bit too late for dry cleaning. And he'll just kind of stammer a bit and say, I'm sorry. The coffee. I mean, like, I can't be in 2 places at once.
Or can you?
We just call him on it? No.
Oh, I have an idea. I just want to see what Kara types.
Grim says, I'm just honestly harassing you while you take your time to unlock the door, she would say, thumbing over behind her. Come on, the remorse are taken care of. No need to be as stressed. And he'll nod and he'll start to move forward. If Grim will get out of the way, he'll unlock the door. But Mike, you wanted to do something?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, maybe next time you should remember that before volunteering to go get coffee. And yes, he didn't.
That's a good point. Let's see if he... Yeah, we gave him the order to get coffee because we didn't want to get him shot.
Clever!
Yeah. But Lawrence is just kind of going to give you like a half shrug, Mike.
So yeah, at this point, everybody on the team channel gets a, well, found Tuesday.
Yeah. So, you want me to hit him in the back with the spell?
Well, if he is Tuesday, I would let him know. Like, we kind of want Tuesday to do this thing, right? Except, not succeed at the whole Parsons bit.
So, as Lauren... Okay, Kara, is Grim forgetting the change of plans, or is Grim intentionally trying to undermine the rest of the team? Okay, you had forgot. Okay. So, before he makes it to the door, do you want to retcon any of that, or do you just want to like put your hand up and say, oh, one more thing, or like how do you want to do this?
One more thing.
So she would put her hand on his shoulder and say, oh, before we go, we have to show you something. We also still have that fourth bitch in the next room over. And he'll kind of look like, okay. What, you mean the one that was cuffed to the stairwell? And Grim says, yeah. And he's like, well, I don't know who she is. Is she Tuesday? Oh, no, out of character, no, he would not say that. Sorry, scrap that. Neither Lawrence nor Tuesday would say that. So that was GM mistake. Still would say, I have no idea who she is.
But we know who you are.
Don't forget to position your tokens where you want them. And yeah. Grim says, we need to figure out who she is, and it could be likely that that is Tuesday. Not willing to hedge my bets on it, but that bitch can rearrange her face. And Lawrence is like, Tuesday's a day of the week.
Yeah, maybe we should include him in the conversation. But I'd like to point out the assassin is also an adept. So if someone's super modified, that's gonna kill their ability to be an adept.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone's aware that Lillian is not Tuesday.
This is just
Grim
a
is
cover story?
Grim is basically lying.
Not only that, but Mike explicitly said, well, we found Tuesday, it's Lawrence.
And Grim would say, you said that last time we explained it to you. And Lawrence's face kind of like gets confused for a minute. He's like, I don't remember that.
At this point, I think Mike's just going to reach up and slap a slap patch on him.
A slap patch?
Yes, rating 8 trank patches.
Oh.
So you also want to modify the plan then, Mike?
Yeah. Can we modify the plan in a different direction?
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, we're supposed to stop him on camera, right? If I remember correctly.
No. The plan from Wolf Davies' perspective is what he told you is Lawrence gets killed and then right away Parson gets killed by Tuesday, who will sneak into the apartment. Don't stop him. That's the plan. Killjoy comes up and says, I don't like that plan. I don't want to die. So you all come up with the plan of the fake explosion. And Killjoy's like, I don't like that plan either, but it's better than dying. And Wolf Davies like, I can accept that plan, but I don't like it either. You then all tell Mike tells Wolf Davy later, we've decided to just go ahead and kill Parson. We're going to blow him up with the bomb and we'll stop Tuesday. So it'll be a 2-for-1. And Davy's like, fine, just go ahead. Get your payday and kill Parson. I come out ahead either way. Thank you. Meanwhile, Killjoy had convinced Whiskey, how about instead Wolf Davy's the one who dies? And that way, you know, we still have a body, we still have political leverage, and I don't have to die, and then I retire and make one of your friends my person who, you know, takes over in my shoes. To which Whiskey's like, well, I know a guy. So...
yeah, and I think we more or less voted for that direction, except I think we weren't real interested in You know, nobody was going to go out there and risk their life to save Wolf Davy, but I don't think we were interested in seeing him die either.
You had voted that none of you are going to pull the trigger. Some of you just felt, let's just not have him die at all. Some of you were like, let's have Tuesday do it. After all, Wolf Davy's original plan was to set up Tuesday from the word go anyway. Tuesday was never meant to walk out of this building, and it was all Wolf Davy's fault. Are you going to tell Tuesday the truth? Or are you going to just try and stop Tuesday on camera? Or are you going to try and stop Tuesday in the back? You never actually decided that. All you decided was Wolf Davy takes the fall for a failed Parson assassination.
Yeah, because we did have the backup plan that if Tuesday doesn't succeed in his thing, or if we stop Tuesday, then we would try to frame the fake bombing on him.
In general, no matter what, we were going to frame Wolf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what Pirate / Abobob said. Wolf is definitely going down for this, is what you all agreed on. What you never agreed on is what happens to Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday gets turned into money, so yeah, I'll put the slap patch on him.
Okay, so bear in mind, Wolf's standing right there, and these doors are glass.
Well, what's he gonna do about it? You know.
I guess
He could delete his files from his comlink.
What will he do about it? You will have put the wolf in the corner.
In a corner. Which is what the reason why we came up with this plan, so we don't put him into a corner.
Well, okay, actually what I meant was I thought Grimm had led him away to look at Lillian at one point.
Well, we realized we didn't actually hash this out, so I was giving you all a quick out-of-character breather to actually hash this out.
Oh.
Although technically I shouldn't have. Technically I should have just let you guys blunder ahead without having a solid plan, but I'm the kind of GM who doesn't allow that to happen.
Also, just to say, Wolf Davy probably doesn't know Lawrence is Tuesday, because he would not know... Lawrence doesn't know what form Tuesday will take. Sorry, not Lawrence. Wolf. Wolf doesn't know what form Tuesday will take.
Why? Why would you believe that?
Yeah, we have no idea. We have no idea.
Okay, fair enough.
It might be Wolf's plan all along that Lawrence is the one to kill Parson, and then oh no, it was Tuesday all along. You know, you don't actually know what Wolf's real plans are. He has lied to you from the start.
Yeah,
that's a good point, actually. Very good point.
And
Never mind.
speaking of which, Double Prodigy, you guys need to hack into Wolf's comlink right now and start leaving some evidence.
yeah, he's currently jammed. If we started hacking into him, you think we could do it without him noticing?
You could, but hey, hacking is very quick. Once you have him taken care of, you can get that evidence put in place.
Uh-huh.
And Wolf is both publicly busy and probably a little bit nervous and stressed right now, so he might not pay that much attention to his comm.
Because...
Oh no, he's definitely paying attention to his comlink. He's been trying to get it to work again ever since the jamming started.
Because I still have the evidence I need to plan into Wolf's room, and we still need to plan to the activation of the DUD frequency and all that programming and code onto Wolf's comlink.
So, you've got Tuesday at the door and you've stopped him with whatever excuse you've come up with. What do you do with Tuesday? Shall we take a break, let you figure this out of character, off recording, and then come back? Or do you want to just wing it right now?
You're right back, so we have to pause. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay,
real sorry.
so we'll take this as a break. You can all discuss this, and when we get back, you'll have your decision on what you're doing with Tuesday in Lawrence's skin.
User
And
in
I
your
have to
channel
take a
stopped
bathroom
recording.
break.
Bathroom Blake? All right. Kara says, we talk to Dude Tuesday, pull him aside, we convince him we know what's going on. Here's how Wolf is fucking you over. Work with us to kill Wolf, then we stop you. You get away. Bomb goes, no bomb goes off. Kara, there isn't a functional bomb right now. Evidence that Wolf has failed assassination attempt 2. Kara admits she is not good at typing Hunter. And then we are square but always be friendly to each other. Okay, so the bomb plan changed so that the bomb was going to be a dud. It was just going to be underneath the chair, and there was going to be a signal sent from Wolf's comlink that says, blow up the bomb now, and the bomb fails to detonate.
But that was basically as a backup if things with Tuesday didn't work out.
In general, though, that was, again, we would have light that off anyway to help pin that on Wolf anyway.
I do see one immediate problem, actually. I just realized this. If we do this, we're trying to pin all this on Wolf. Why would Wolf hire an assassin to kill himself?
Well, because though he hired the assassin, but we can reveal that he did not intend to pay this said assassin, and so then it makes sense that said assassin will kill you for that. Because they don't like being screwed over like that.
I'll buy that, okay.
Okay, so will it be Grim, Mike, or someone else who stops, quote-unquote, Lawrence from opening the door? Grim's already put her arm out, but we can retcon that if we want to change that.
I can put a hand on his shoulder and say, by the way, Tuesday, we need to speak momentarily.
And so you're flat out saying, Tuesday, we need to speak?
Yes, somewhere outside of the view of your double-crossing employer.
Ah, okay. So go ahead and roll an etiquette with a +5. You do not get your software's bonus. Okay. Was that a sigh in character or out of character, Kara? Okay, I hope you're all right. But quote-unquote Lawrence will say, you know what, maybe we should do a strip search of that girl in the stairwell. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, of course Lawrence is up for strip searching.
So we walk together into the stairwell.
Lawrence will make sure his back is to a wall and that there's nobody blocking his retreat if necessary down the stairs.
And I'll just be right here in case he goes this way. Just throw a spell at him if he comes this way.
Kara, I'm pretty sure you said that Grim did not sleep with Lawrence at any point. So, yeah, like he kept hitting on you and hitting on you and hitting on you, but you kept saying, we've got a job to do. We got to be professional. And there is a chance, I suppose, that Lawrence was Tuesday all along, but the coffee scenario, well, you did notice some changes, very minute changes in his behavior after he went out to get coffee. Sorry, and Abobob, what did you say?
But I was just to stay right here, and just in case he tries to come back this way, just throw a spell at him. And the second thing was, I believe Lawrence was aware that Tuesday was one of the possible assassins.
You did mention to him about Tuesday, yes, I believe so. But still, it's Lawrence. And he's like, I don't remember that. Theoretically, that could be true.
Theoretically, that could be true, but that's just another kind of piece of evidence that this is probably not Lawrence.
Well, yeah, at this point we already know it's not Lawrence. But the question was it always not Lawrence? Was it always Tuesday? You don't know. Chances are it was only a recent change. All the same, you've got him in the hallway. He's got his back to a corner, but he's ready to run down the stairs. You can tell by his body language. And he's just sort of, well, you can't see his eyes because he's wearing Lawrence's reflective shades, but he doesn't have Lawrence's dumbass smile on his face right now. And Grim says, oh, okay, so yeah, just hear us out, okay? He'll give a very subtle nod.
Mike would call up the relevant section of the recording of Wolf.
Okay, Mike, is that where you're standing?
Well, I'm assuming on the floor below, so it would actually be below her.
Okay, so you want to go down a stairwell?
Okay, then Whiskey can't get involved. Okay.
Well,
I thought she was up like right next to the roof.
no, she was like locked right outside the door to the vestibule, and the stairs go counterclockwise going up.
Yeah, so if we swing this door hard enough, it's gonna smack her.
All right, then yeah, then I would have to then yeah, we'd. I mean, there's no other real place on this stairwell to stand, is there?
So yeah, I guess he could be there and you could be there. Grim, that would literally put you in the well of the stairwell. So okay, there we go. All right, Grim says, right, okay, so Wolf, kind of a hyper big super dick and a devious bastard. Lawrence Tuesday just continues to watch you silently.
All right, so I would call up the appropriate
Yeah,
the
so
appropriate section of the clip where Wolf Davy is more or less confessing all this to us. The part where he explains that he doesn't have the money to pay Tuesday and that we're supposed to catch Tuesday to cash in the bounty on him.
right, and you basically send that as an AR file, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Okay. And he'll access it with Lawrence's comlink. No, actually, no, he wouldn't. He's not that dumb. Because he knows Wolf Davy has access to Lawrence's comlink. So he's going to use a different comlink to access that file and review it. And he'll look to all of you and say, clearly that's not what you have in mind. And his voice is not Lawrence's voice anymore. It's much more like Tim Curry's Dr. Frankenfurter voice when he's, if you all remember that scene right after he turns everyone into stone, he says, it's not easy having a fun time. Even smiling makes my face ache.
I have never seen that movie.
I highly recommend it. It is fantastic. But that's just a slight detour. Grim will say, oh, of course not. We have other proper plans that don't involve anyone here in this little group getting fucked over, including you now.
Well, maybe except this bitch, but she's not part of the plans.
She'll actually volunteer to say, I could be of assistance.
How about you go telling us your name first for assistance?
Grim says, maybe, but grown-ups talking first, pipe down.
Alright, pipe down, and I will make an intimidate check to kind of...
God! Right over your head. Fantastic.
That's in character.
Lillian will actually end up sending a message to West End Mike and Grim and AR saying, how do you work with this person? Like, this ... person. Hey, Grim texts back, it's not easy.
If Pirate was involved, you would immediately reply, try living with her for the majority of your life.
You know what? I think Mike will actually snicker at that message and forward it to Pirate.
That is the exact reply that you would get back, Mike. Because I'm probably hearing this through the door.
It's not easy having a good time.
But yeah, so at the moment, well, at this point I'm just going to reveal that it's Tuesday. So no longer Lawrence, it is now Tuesday.
Well, here's the thing. We just captured the Remora sisters, so our payment for now should be pretty reasonably well taken care of. However, Mr. Davy, on the other hand, is a bit of a loose end that needs tying up.
Are you trying to drop a hint out of character?
Yeah, a loose end who was planning on backstabbing you and is just in the other room. And I'll leave that as the hint.
Out of character also was probably going to backstab us too.
Tuesday will respond, I'm not a charity. He's not paying me after all. What are you offering?
I was afraid of this.
Well, simple. If you turn around and run now, you will have to deal with us, as well as all the police officers swarming all over this building because of the Remora's attack. On the other hand, we happen to know where there's a secret exit out of Mr. Parsons' penthouse.
So as you're saying, you'd have to deal with us and the police. A kind of a sneer grows on Tuesday's face. Well, I guess it's Lawrence's face that Tuesday's wearing. But then when you mention a secret passageway, the sneer disappears and it's more of a quizzical look. And Grim adds, also, I mean, there's fucking over that asshole too. Let's just say as well, poetic justice.
Yeah, justice!
Goddamn assistant.
So, quite simply put,
Grim says, look, he called out here, and this wasn't zero effort on your part. And Mike, you wanted to say something?
so the deal is simple. Go in there, put on a nice show for the cameras, make sure Wolf Davy won't be testifying against any of us, and in exchange, I will tell you how to get out of here without a single police officer spotting you. And of course, naturally, we'll stay out of your way.
Just want to see what Kara's typing, and then we'll have a response. Grim says he flat out already cost you your time, your effort, your energy. Quite the hassle for nothing. Why not get something out of it? Maybe also have some people not against you, as well as at least one cop who won't be chasing your tail in the future. And so Tuesday will basically fold his hands together in front of his torso and just kind of like in a prayer stance, and just sort of bow his head slightly. And he'll go, what type of show for the camera?
The other one who said that show, so that's up to you, Mike.
I'm waiting to see what Kara's going to type. I know the pain of not being able to type at like 50 words a minute.
You're telling me, you know how awful I am at typing. You've heard
We
me
just-
type on the recordings.
We just need to get Kara in a soundproof room so that she can talk.
I hear the EPA has one.
Grim says, oh, well, we need Parson, or rather what's left of him, to be fine, unharmed, but maybe rattled, but Wolf. However you want to deal with him, that's on you. Of course, it would be all the more fitting if it was Lawrence who saved the day. That or just Tuesday's grand dance. So, Mike, did you have anything to add to that, or?
Whiskey might have something like that. Yeah, is Lawrence still alive, by the way?
I doubt that seriously. I
Well,
mean,
he
you
can
know,
answer that.
Is Mike saying that in character or out?
Mike would say, I doubt that, but I don't know. Is he Mr. Tuesday? Or Miss? Or whatever?
Just Tuesday. And per the contract, I must regretfully inform all of you that Lawrence Archibald Haversmith is no longer among the living, and the longer we have with this conversation, the more likely it is someone will stumble upon that truth before I have the opportunity to do whatever it is you're now suggesting I do exactly.
I'll pour one out for him later then.
Basically, we need you to kill Wolf Davy on camera. Perhaps mutter something about not being able to pay and how that was not a wise idea, at which point you can disappear and we're done for the... and, you know, you never met us, we never met you.
That's also good for your reputation, by the way. Makes people know not to screw with you.
You make a very excellent point there, large woman. Grim says, never met. I'm chalking this down as being lucky to be alive as well, and I can fire a few shots in vain. Hell, you want to knock me out? Go at it. Sell the bit. I could use a good nap after this day. He'll say, well, if you block my escape, then yes, I suppose I would have to knock you down. Where is this escape tunnel, by the way?
By the way, I just realized a problem.
Okay, out of character, what's the problem?
We have an extra witness now to us discussing all of that who can rat this all out.
Yeah, you kind of do, but she already volunteered to be helpful, so maybe you'll discuss that with her. Meanwhile, Mike, Grim doesn't really know the escape tunnel plan as well as you do, so...
I would say, do we have a deal or not? It is in the penthouse.
I would need some level of assurance that it is positioned in a place that will actually be workable. And Grimm's like, look, just fucking tell him now so he can better figure this out.
He does seem like a fairly honorable sort.
Parsons' bathroom. And I'll pull up probably the recorded scans from my broadband x-ray.
We could do one step easier. Roger would probably like set the groundwork. So I use the blueprint that he obtained when we started this, and then draw a line directly to the bathroom, and then use the camera from the bathroom to point out exactly to show the recording of how we opened it.
Okay, perfect. Yes, that was going to be one of the key things here of how does he even open this? But yes, Prodigy had a recording of Killjoy opening the escape tunnel. So, Prodigy, will you share that file with Mike or Grimm or someone in that hallway to share it with Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. And Grimm's like, no more fucking spy games, okay? We're on a deadline. So, Mike, you're in agreement? You're going to share
that fucking pun.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't really see the pun there, Boba. But,
Dead.
What?
Line.
What the
Dead
hell?
line.
Yeah, it's not really a pun. That's not really a pun in this situation. But in any event.
And so how do we involve her here?
Oh, Tuesday will say, I agree to these terms, and I will attempt my coup at an appropriate point in the debate. Of course, I really must get there. I imagine Wolf Davy is become quite concerned that I am not in the position he needs me in, and Tuesday will check an AR feed. We are growing very close to the point in the debate where I am to make my move. And Grim motions for him to have freedom to go past. And he will show remarkable trust to you as he walks past both of you without flinching or looking behind him. He gets to the door, kind of shimmies a bit and gets back into character, then opens the door. Pirate, you were monitoring this whole conversation, yes, no?
Yeah, I was just sitting there in case it just went south. I can get out there to help.
Okay. And Grim, are you going to follow him all the way into the vestibule, or... Okay, well, you're not going to talk to Lillian then?
We want her on our side.
Yeah, so you'll just have to ask him to get the door for you, or Pirate goes in with him and then she gets the door for you. I mean, so...
That's pretty much what I was going to do. I was going to
Okay.
be following him and waiting here. It's, again, doing everything within my power and effort to stay away from the camera.
I could unload this shotgun into her until she has only a hole instead of a head, but they are your shotgun shells, Grim, so I figure you don't want that to happen.
Grim says no to that. Grim, are you standing that close to Lillian? Remember, that would make you standing in the pit. So, yeah, you have to basically hug the walls in the stairwell.
You just, like, draw out it like a square so we know exactly where the hole is.
And then it just so happens that one or two floors down there were a bunch of cops listening in.
I hear no VT.
God damn it. Okay, I was muted that whole time. Grim says, all right, so tell me, who are you, who is paying you, and what was your goal here? I don't want another damn repeat of the elevator, and I'm sure you don't want it either. Messy, annoying, and obnoxious. I was also going to say, you should all technically have rolled negotiations for Tuesday. And now that you're interrogating Kimmel, if you have intimidation, speciality, interrogation, go ahead and roll that. Meanwhile, Whiskey, this is where your intimidation roll would actually come into play.
Okay, well, shall I make it again, or shall we take the previous one?
No, you roll a new one. But the negotiations is what I was hoping for first. And Mike, that would be on you. Again, the facial recognition software is not going to be of any help on that.
Would I get the +5 there, or that was just for the etiquette?
That was just for the initial etiquette. And Grim, go ahead and roll an extra 2 SR4 after your negotiation.
Ha! Oh, where was that roll earlier?
Where's Kara's negotiation?
She hasn't made it yet, just the intimidation.
Mike, go ahead and roll another 4 SR4. Wow. Okay, so 12 hits total on the negotiation with Tuesday. I think you're probably all pretty confident that he's going to agree. Meanwhile, your other quote-unquote friend here, yeah, with all her implants,
Jesus, two nine negotiations.
that's still a win for Grim. So the woman will say, I'm just another fuck up on this clearly honeypot of a job. Yeah, no, my first hint should have been the fact that the Remoras were here, and then Tuesday, of all people. God. Yeah. Grim says, so you have no desire to interfere now? Well, are you just going to let me walk away too then? I'm happy to just walk away at this point.
Well, that will be a loss for us. I figure.
Would you text the rest of your team to find out how they feel about this mysterious assassin who is quite cybered up? By the way, Pirate, did you reveal... Yeah, you revealed that to the team, right? That this person is heavily cybered?
This person was heavily cybered, and she seems to have some kind of regeneration ability because she's perfectly healthy now after getting shot up a lot.
Right. So, perhaps some, data search from somebody who's got a really strong data search might have been able to figure out someone that fits that description.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. Simple hint, hint. Prodigy.
Six hits. There are a number of international assassins who are cybered up. You'd need more to go on here. Um, you could upload her face to the database, but it's your call, Prodigy, if you want to make that move.
She's got a jigsaw skull. Um,
And her face reset after being knocked unconscious.
So we're looking at currently her true face.
Theoretically, unless she pre-programmed the jigsaw to put in a special face in situations where it got reset.
Maybe
But,
one of the things.
but Grim says, well, at the big kid says, that would still be a bit of a loss for us. Not that I'm not always above charity, but seriously, this has been just as bad a day for us as it has been for you. So you have any real reasons for me why I should be considering such a merciful kindness? And you were going to say whiskey?
Maybe she could put us in touch to where she got all of her fancy toys, cause that ain't easy to get here in London.
No, I'm not from London originally. And yeah, if anyone wants to just roll their carnivore gold, go ahead.
Only people who are currently there, or everyone?
I'm sure this is getting sent to the rest of the team, so technically everybody could roll it. Oh, oh no. Yeah, this would be passive. So yeah, it's just carnivore gold on its own. Yeah, that's a fair point.
And since
Okay, so just 4 dice.
I'm at a -3 penalty.
Shouldn't it have been herbivore bronze?
Not a real glitch.
Twister, I take it you didn't hear me when I said just the
oh, no, sorry.
software rating. You didn't figure that out from everyone else's roll?
You know what? I just thought everyone else had really bad comlinks.
All right, Prodigy, yours will still be the one to indicate that there are minor indications that this person is hiding a Portuguese accent. If you want to do another data search, you now have another data point to utilize. But yeah, so Grim had asked, so you have any real reason for me why I should be considering such a merciful kindness? And the whiskey followed up with something about where you get your toys or whatever. And you don't get those in London, to which the person says, yeah, I'm not actually from around here. Prodigy, you take that as an opportunity to do another search, and utilizing the specific of Portugal, you get a hit. The infamous Ella Quatacoa. And she is wanted by Europol, 75,000 new yen dead. Also wanted by the Lucida Corporation, which is the corporation that runs Portugal, 250,000 new yen alive only.
So how much? Again?
It doesn't really matter. The second option is the biggest option. By like a scale of over 5. About 4, actually, I guess. Just
Yeah, but we have to remember she could rat out our plans, so she is risky to keep alive.
Okay. You know what, Mike? To make sure that she can't not interject. Not intercept. What is the term? Interfere. To make sure she doesn't interfere, can you load her up with some stun? Like a patch or 2?
Oh, we can knock her out at any point. That shouldn't be a big issue.
Yeah, for a long period of time.
Um,
Since she
Here's the
heals
thing, though,
wounds, she
if-
might...
Go ahead.
Well, remember, Mike and Prodigy can have this conversation in the span of seconds. The rest of you aren't going to be purview to this conversation in character right away.
No, what I was about to say was out of character. It's just that if we just let her go, what reason would she have to call or go to the press or whatever about this all being a fake and a setup?
Right. So she's an assassin. What benefit is there to her to put herself at risk to reveal all of you as, Shadowrunners? Conversely, if she's captured, what reason doesn't she have to sell you all up the river to try and get a better deal for herself?
And of everything that she has, I don't know if this is going to be the biggest thing on her list of sellable options. Combined with that, would the Portugal company... you know what? Had we learned this beforehand, this would be a lot easier.
Yeah, honestly, we were stupid to leave her in this conversation.
Yeah.
Portugal's at least not, it's just a boat ride away.
And are we not able to get in contact with someone being like, hey, we have this person right here, right now?
the big question is, what do they want her for? Do they want to throw her in prison, or are they looking to recruit her? Because in the latter case...
Oh, right.
she doesn't have anything
I should
to-
specify that. She is considered an ex-patriot, I believe they're called. She deserted the Lucida army. She's also branded a traitor.
Execution! Desertion is execution.
And most likely a public execution at that.
Yeah, so she has all the reason to sell us out if we try to hand her over alive. So it's either we kill her or we let her
Yes.
go.
But I mean, the question is, would they believe something a dying person has to say when they think, when it's like her only option of getting out alive is to yell all
Bigger
of her
question.
secrets? And
Why
hope
would she
something-
make up such an outlandish story?
Especially
bigger
when
sacrifice
it's,
anything to survive?
The bigger question is, would Portugal care?
would the Lucida Corporation care? It's going to affect the foreign government and such foreign corporations, which could be business rivals.
Grim/Kara want to just tell Ella, no harm, no foul, get lost. The rest of you seem to want to either kill her for the 75,000 or risk quite a lot to try and get the 250,000.
I just want to let her go.
I am
Here's
also
what
I'm
Stab
on
us.
Grim's side, provided that we kind of push her to maybe provide some contacts or such for us.
Okay. So we've got 3 votes for letting her go, one of which is give us something as well, and we will let you go. Mike, your vote? Or sorry, Desperado, your vote.
Yeah, my question to her is, we could just shoot you in the head and turn you over to Europol. Why shouldn't we?
So wait, you're revealing this in character?
Sure, why not?
Prodigy shared the intel with Mike. Is that correct, Prodigy? Or not?
Probably, yeah.
All right. And Prodigy, or sorry, Twister, what do you want as a player? The money or not so much?
He wants the money to make it so that...
No,
No,
you
no.
as a player.
Okay, yeah. As a player, I want... I don't know, because we getting the kill and then making it so that we actually have, that 75 grand extra is nice. What do we get beyond her not being in the picture anymore? Because I don't think she gave us any comlink information or any reason to help us. And if I understand correctly, we're leaving after this mission? We were saying that we
No,
were doing...
no. Remember, anytime I ask you to vote on the next country, it's because I just need to make plans.
Oh, okay.
You're still going to
So
be in
start-
London for like 7 more missions easy.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, I would like her to propose a counteroffer.
And Hunter, your idea?
I propose letting her go. After either payment or guaranteed favor later.
So it sounds like most people are just willing to let the fish go off the hook.
Yeah, though after negotiations, as it were.
Right. Okay.
And Frosty has a question for
yes,
you.
Frosty, I wanted to say, I really wanted you to get to, do the last bit of Killjoy here when the big reveal happens, but if you're still recovering, then yeah, getting rest is important, and you're still at your parents' place, right?
Yeah, I'm still at my parents' place. I'm not so much as recovering as I'm just tired for some reason. My sleep rhythm has changed a lot, so
Okay, so when do you think you'll be back in your own place again? Is that still happening, or?
plan is to move my stuff to my apartment this week. So I should be next week. But I have to see how I can get stuff worked out there because it seems like the walls are quite thin there, unfortunately. So I have to see how I can.
Buy some duvets and pin them to the wall and make yourself some soundproofing that way.
Lie under a bed, duvets all around me.
But yeah, if you need to get more to bed, then yeah, by all
Well,
means. And
I'm having a real hard time staying awake at the moment because, well, I'm nothing.
I will try my best to make sure that when Killjoy does the last thing he's going to do, that I do it the way you wanted me to.
Mm-hmm. Alright, just my mind is not staying up with this.
Okay, Frosty, have yourself a good night.
Yep, and you enjoy the game. Good night.
Good night.
User disconnected from your channel.
So, Grimm's question still stands. Why should they be considerate? Like, why be so merciful to her? To which she'll say, not that I think any of you will necessarily believe me, considering how our engagement in the elevator went, but I think I could take all 3 of you and make it out of here just fine now that I know what's actually going on. But you're right, that's risky. So what can I offer you? And she just kind of looks very annoyed as she's trying to think of an answer to that. Grim says, look, I know sure as fuck I got lucky back there too, but this time I'm not exactly sitting here without paying attention as well.
And I'm here. And so is Mikey. And Mikey is still crazy up on the drugs, perhaps.
Grim says, and yes, Mike is here too. So Ella nods her head. So we got Mike, we got Grim, and then she turns and we've got the big kid. She looks right at you, Whiskey, when she says the big kid.
Shall I make a composure roll?
If you feel you need to. She was snarking you.
Yeah, no, this isn't Frax, but yeah, this wouldn't be the first snark, and there is a limit on how much she takes during one day.
Before I read what Grim says, I just want to see what Whiskey's role is.
Yep. Oh ja, you'll laugh it up. But who one-on-one that Remora's sister earlier? That was me, so sod you.
And Grim says whiskey, like the hangover. To which Ella will nod and say, right, so you're a bunch of runners. You take wet work contracts, or do you only take the fuck with wet work contracts? Grim says, I take whatever interests me. This ain't my day job. As you may have gathered, that's usually more above board on paper. And Ella will say, I'm already out 75,000 on this job. So, I don't know. It's not like I can get you that money. It's been taken by a certain community that provided me this job's information. Go figure that it was not at all what I thought I'd be getting into.
I have maybe an OOC idea. If this community is that assassin board that Mike pissed off, maybe we can use her to smooth that over a little bit?
That's a very wise idea, perhaps.
I don't know if Whiskey would suggest it, since I don't know if Whiskey knows the trouble Mike ran into with that bit, so...
Grim says, well, seeing as you might be in line for needing to earn money as well as before going back, having someone with your kind of winning hand probably not the best to have in a debt. So let's put Nguyen off the table here. Desperado, are you around?
Yep.
So
Okay.
the
I was
out of
like-
character idea. Anything you want to say in or out of character on that?
Yeah, since she mentioned, I'll bring that up in character. So, the community, that wouldn't happen to be the local wetwork subforum, would it?
Depends on what you mean by that.
I tried to get information off of there a few days ago. Seems I may have ruffled some feathers in the process.
Oh, that
You know
was...
what? I think it'd be worth my while to just let you go if you think you can help handle that.
Seeing as I paid him $75K, I think that's doable. You know, that Mr. doesn't know how to do a proper hack job, doesn't get hacked by one of our other associates. Can't necessarily guarantee it, but I can give it my all.
And you can bring up that they kind of screwed you over as well, since, you know, they should have vetted this job.
That's an oddly smart point, yes.
That's surprisingly smart from Whiskey. Are we sure she's not Tuesday?
Whiskey is very big on basically the boss being somewhat reliable. Which is why she was pissed off at Wolf so much.
I'm going to say, yeah, that sounds fair, but wouldn't mind a comm link number 2 for, she looks to the side, for business, of course, or personal. I don't know, take your pick. Figure an exchange wouldn't be the worst trade we've made all day. Ella will nod, and she will gently, and make sure you can all see, slide her hand out of, her left hand out of the handcuffs. Is anyone doing anything as she pulls her hand out?
No.
Except stand a bit more at attention. Apparently I don't have the shotgun, so she would have her broken sword to kind of whack someone with. It's the only weapon she's got.
As this is happening, Grim says, here, let me just get those damn things. Okay, she moves to go set Ella free, but then says, don't damage these things, they're expensive. To which Ella will show, I'm pretty sure my limbs are more expensive than these, and I didn't damage my limbs taking that off. And Grim says, fair point. And with her left hand, Ella will basically send an AR drop message to all of you that will have contact information in it. And it won't have a name associated with it, but it will have a title, business title of Professional Mortality Solutions Expert.
So a business card.
Whiskey would change that contact nickname to Port.
Mike
Grim,
saved it with a chuckle.
Grim is giving Ella a personal contact number. But yeah, Ella will... now that Grim's closer, you'll see that Ella has basically been able to slide her hand out of the cuff and then was basically just going to stretch her limbs a little bit, and the plastic restraints are just going to snap and pop, and then she'll pull her other limbs gently out of the other manacles without any kind of effort. Grim would just unlock them and put them back in her kit, and Ella will say, I'll recommend in the future that you get high magnetized versions of those. Those might have posed a little bit more of a challenge.
Or just remove the arms and legs when you take someone prisoner.
And Grim will say, yeah, good point. Then again, I don't normally deal with people of your, well, caliber. And as you say that, Ella's face will once again change back to that of the Lillian Kimmel right before your eyes, like over the course of a few seconds. And her hair changes color, and the bun and the ponytail are produced by a holographic effect, basically.
So what? The only thing left of her that's probably solid at this point is what? Her skull, her brain, and probably some bones along the spine?
Not even the skull. That's what Jigsaw Skull means.
Oh yeah, so it's just probably the brain matter and her spinal column then.
More like her brain and internal organs in her torso, like stomach, lungs, although, well, okay, maybe not the lungs. Brain for sure. Brain for sure.
Okay, should probably clarify. When I was referring to the spinal column, I was referring to maybe not the bones, but all those nerves that go along and are inside the spinal column.
Even that can be replaced in the Shadowrun universe.
Okay,
I think
so
that's
literally
part of wired reflexes is that those get replaced.
Okay, so she's pretty much just RoboCop with how organic she is then. Okay.
It's more sultry than RoboCop. Think
What I
of
meant
the
by what's
major,
left.
the major from Ghost in the Shell.
She's completely 100% cyber though.
The major?
Yeah.
She doesn't have any internal organs left?
No, her brain,
Okay.
everything. That's a complete cyber body. Her consciousness was just transplanted from her
Hence the
original
title
body.
of Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, I thought the Ghost
Yeah.
in the Shell was somebody else that was interacting with her. Anyway, basically,
the
at
concept
this,
is just
yeah,
three things.
we don't need to get tied up with that. But she will be a little more nervous as she walks past Mike and Grim. She's keeping an eye basically on you as she begins to descend the stairwell. And so all of you will be fine with her leaving then? No one's going to try anything else?
Nope.
Okay, we're coming up to the last half hour here. We've basically got to the home stretch. Is there anything any of you want to specifically declare, or shall I just get to the, grand finale?
Whiskey would be, so do we need to fake that Tuesday overpowered us or something? Maybe some of us laying unconscious here in the stairwell?
No, he snuck in. So all we have to do is fake that we tried to stop him from getting away.
Alright.
So
Will look a bit
That's-
bad on your security company reputation, but I think you can take it.
yeah, that's it going away after this job, so I don't care.
Alrighty then.
Pirate, are you letting Mike and who else wants to go back in?
Whiskey will stay in the vestibule.
Everyone gets let in that wants in.
So, Grim, as you attempt to move past Wolf Davy, he will kind of extend his arm and tap his comm link saying, "What the hell is your hacker doing? I still don't have a connection."
Clarify, what connection is he talking about?
His comm link.
Oh, and
Again.
Whiskey would, if her comm link is working, which I assume it is, she would be sending a message to Alistair like, "You probably want to get to the scene soon."
You are immediately going to get a bounce back message from Alistair saying, "Important meeting, talk later." Grim will say, "I'll go talk to the kid. We've been kind of busy. I had to pull some big damn strings to keep the cops and the Remoras taken care of without it causing us trouble. Sorry, I'm not a freaking octopus, but I'll figure it out." That technically there's no lie there, is there?
No.
So go ahead and roll either etiquette if you're doing this politely, or leadership if you're basically telling them, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." Okay. He'll kind of sneer at you a bit and say, just get it done. Like, the Tridio's working. Why isn't my comm link? Grim says, "No idea. Maybe he's focused on one. As said, I'll figure it out. I just want to get back to my post without being on Tridio. These aren't the type I like to be in." and he'll basically just let you squeeze by him now so that you can stay out of focus. And anyone else declaring any other actions? Everyone's where they want to be.
I think so.
Yep, not until the thing happens.
Okay. So the speeches and the debates are going to continue, and Parsons basically staying on script throughout. He's radiant thanks to the magician, but since this isn't a live debate as it was originally planned to be, a lot of that magic is basically being wasted. The Tridio recorder can't transmit magic. However, that does also make it a little bit more fair. And despite that, he's still hammering his competition. The Anthony Grant IV of the Conservationist Party, he's doing maybe 50-50 as far as success rate goes. Cassandra von Hallen, independent, she's doing a very good job of seeming like she's electable, but she doesn't appear to be for the people. She seems to be a little too greedy with what she's proposing. Like she's thinking about herself and her perspective rather than talking about what's good for the people.
And German name. Just saying.
Yeah. It's England. I mean, it's been what, 150 years since the war? Well, actually,
Which war?
yeah. Wait, did the Euro Wars? I don't think Europe. I don't think anyone attacked England during the Euro Wars, did they?
Not directly, though. They were at war with the Russians, but look at the English and the French. How many years has that been?
Okay. You have a point there. Daniette Harris Proctor of the Socialist Workers' Party. She's got a great platform, but she sucks as a politician. So even though she's got a lot of the same policies that Parson is saying are good, Parson is just, he's so much more charismatic. He's much more likable than she is. So she's a no-go for the win here. But then there's Eric Millett of the Green Party. The fucking Lord Protector's office, basically. And despite the fact that no one likes the Lord Protector's office out loud, he still seems to be making a killing here. Like, he actually seems to be the biggest threat to Parsons' re-election, since he seems to have a rebuttal for every single thing Parson has to say. He's been the one to grill Parson on this whole Remora situation and how suspicious it seems, but he never actually says the word suspicious. He just kind of sows the seeds of doubt into the public's mind. And he's kind of like a snake and a weasel, and yet he's got just enough charisma to carry it without coming across as completely evil.
We need to put him down before he gets to a higher position of power.
But at the same token, he doesn't seem to be pushing to get elected. He seems to be pushing merely to discredit Parson.
Well, we know Parson used to be on the team of the Lord Protector's office, so that actually wouldn't be entirely surprising.
Indeed. It does seem almost a little bit petty, but Eric is charismatic enough that the pettiness is at least seeming more playful than vindictive. But as the speeches go on, eventually Parson is given his specifically allotted time to just talk about what he wants to talk about. And anyone who wants to, I'm not even going to bother making you roll. Judge intention, you'd be able to tell that this is where Wolf Davy kind of perks up. And Tuesday remains in character quite well. Like, basically, he fidgets the way Lawrence, his body language is very Lawrence-like. He's like about to pick his nose, but he, stops and puts his hand back down. Or, he scratches at his thigh or something like that, just enough fidgeting that he just seems unprofessional. But as
In short, there's a reason this guy charges million per us.
Yes. But as the time gets closer, he suddenly gets a little stiff and a little more erect, and he reaches into his jacket. And you see Wolf Davy just like his eyes light up. But then Tuesday pulls out a comm link and he takes a quick look at it. And then he turns his head just for a moment to look towards Wolf before putting the comm link back in his jacket. And very, very gracefully, without really, making any kind of big to-do about it, just kind of walks off camera. And you can all see Davy is like sweating profusely now. Like, what's going on? And, what gun? Oh, okay. Wolf Davy is like, he backs away slightly from Tuesday, but he also realizes the Tridio projector is right behind him. So he's like trapped between a hard place and a very scary entity. And Tuesday does pretty much exactly what I think Grimm suggested, in that he says, you shouldn't have double-crossed me, and you should have been earnest about offering to pay. And basically just extends a hand for shaking, and Wolf Davy's like, to which Tuesday says, I'm finished. Wolf very nervously extends his hand to shake in return, and then yelps slightly in pain and pulls his hand back, and Tuesday just walks.
A poisonous ring.
Well, not a ring, but and then Wolf just kind of like stumbles a bit, sweating profusely, falls to the ground, and Grimm, what were you going to do as Tuesday walked past you? You're going to go see what's wrong with Davy?
So that was my suggestion. Is my error.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I suggested.
She's just like, what's wrong? As Tuesday, using the keys that he got off of, Lawrence, goes in, opens the door, closes the door, locks the door, and, same for that door, and away he goes.
The moment that Wolf starts to somewhat collapse, was kind of like, oh fuck, this isn't a show, and she takes a big step and then screams, "Oh no, Wolf, no!" and tries to run through the plate glass window, through the vestibule window.
Wait, out of curiosity, would enough time pass where Mike and Whiskey would be crashing?
Actually, Mike and Grimm, you're right at the tail end of your drugs. I think Whiskey, did Whiskey pop anything?
Yes, Jess, and they it was at the same time and the same length for her, so.
Okay, so yeah, then Whiskey, you're also getting close to the end of your crash as well.
Okay, but yeah, I still think this is happening. So maybe if she's crashing, it's more like, "Oh no, Wolf, no!" as she jumps through.
Is she going to try and smash through the window? Or is she
Yes.
just going to bang on it with her fist?
No, smash through the window.
Roll running. With every 2 hits you get, you may add +1 to a strength ×2 roll. But Grimm goes up to Wolf Davy and checks him for a pulse. Basically, he stares at you, gritting his teeth, and he just barely mouths the words, "Fuck you," before basically losing all muscle control and is that just your default on first aid, Grim? All right, and Grim will turn and shout, "Medic, get Doc Wagon!" To which Parson will, Parson will say, "Excuse me, there appears to be an emergency." And of course, Eric, plays off of that, blah, blah, blah. But, Parson comes over, checks on Wolf Davy. Prodigy, since we don't have the time for it, I'm just going to say this is when you hack into the comm link with Sybil's help, and the two of you make it so that Wolf Davy's last dying act is to try to detonate the bomb.
Sure.
Okay. And Whiskey, strength times 2 plus 2.
Okay.
Mike, Pirate, what are you two doing?
Pretty much. I don't want to yell because I don't want my voice caught on the trio.
Oh, at this point
Yes.
it's too late. Grim's already shout. Oh, right. No, you. Yeah, never mind. Right. You don't want your voice. Right.
Yeah, my voice
Jesus, what a
does
shit
not
roll.
need to go onto a very news heavy related thing. No.
Is it at this point? Is this all being caught on camera with Wolf Davy and Grim and all that?
No, basically, Parson's the only thing that's still in range of the Tridio projector as he stands basically too close to it. But Grim and Wolf are not actually being caught on it.
I would just be on a thing, just going like, Mike, get them to cut the feed. Just sending a message. That's what I would be doing.
Mike would very quickly run over to Wolf.
Are you blocking the Tridio transmitter as well when you do?
Briefly, yes. But mostly I will bend down and go, "Oh my god, Wolf Davy's been poisoned!" At which point I will send a message to Prodigy.
Out of character, how would you know that?
Out of character, how would anybody know how I would know that? They seem to bend down and check on him, but...
Yes, but that's just it. This is now being recorded as, evidence. So...
well, in that case, I'll actually do a first aid check. See if I can tell
So
something.
you start using your med kit and performing first aid?
Well,
just going to default on first aid to do a diagnostic? Diagnosis.
basically.
Diagnosis, that's the word. Sorry, diagnosis.
Yes, I can, and it's a little bit better than defaulting for me. I actually do have some skill at it.
And Whiskey, I think, just thumps against the window with that bad roll.
Yes, no, she does. She's definitely not getting in with that roll. But she is making a very loud bang, bang, bang on the glass.
No, something like that. Helps with the show.
Now that admittedly is without my med kit. So.
Yeah, Mike, you don't know either, honestly, what it was that Lawrence used to kill Wolf Davy.
All right, then I will. But is he dead or dying at this point?
At this point, he seems dead.
All right, okay. In that case, it's, "Oh my gosh, Wolf Davy, he's dead," and then I'll tell Prodigy to kill the feed at that point.
No, oh no, oh Jesus, why? Oh Jesus, oh!
We can restore the feed if that turns out to be an issue. Or maybe
Sorry,
Mike
so-
could just go, shut the camera off, and stick his hand in the way of the lens.
Right. So, what is the plan then? Are you telling Prodigy to shut it off or not?
I'll just I'll just block the camera then. But yes, I will definitely establish that. Oh my gosh, Wolf Davy's been killed.
To it, Parson will basically step back into frame and say that we are going to have to call this debate to a recess immediately. There's been a medical emergency. Please forgive me if this is outside, and he's actually stammering, and he looks like confused, and he keeps glancing towards Davy and glancing towards the Tridio projector, and mercifully the event organizer for the debate will basically blank out the communications, screwing over the other 4 politicians in the process, and saying, we are cutting to a temporary commercial, please tune back in as soon as possible. And basically brief intermission and then commercials to fill in the time.
It immediately cuts to like a tofu burger commercial, something like that, probably something fast food.
Probably, yeah. But at this point, the fashion mage would come over, and he'd, use his magical abilities to say that, this man's been poisoned. How? And do any of you want to say, where did Lawrence go? I saw Lawrence with him just a second ago. Or are you going to leave that unsaid? Oh, Grim says, fuck shit, where the fuck is Lawrence? Parson will say, I wasn't paying attention, but I thought he was behind me.
Mike will look around and go, he was just walking past Davy. And gotta go.
For sure the video's cut, right?
Yes, it is.
I would speak, I was like, I think I saw him heading out toward the office.
If Whiskey manages to burst through like, I saw him do it! I saw Lawrence do it! Oh no! Oh! Wait a second, where's my drink? One moment.
I wanted to make sure real quick. This is like a bar window, right? This is all
no,
open.
that is a wall.
Okay, then yeah, I couldn't see him then. Okay, I wasn't sure because this wasn't filled in, so I thought this was like a open window kind of thing.
But again, it's getting late, so Grim says, shit, he just passed me then, looks towards the hallway, pauses, fuck, gets up and rushes to find the locked office door. But yeah, basically Parson is going to tell the debate coach and the assistant to help the fashion mage get Wolf Davy down the stairs to the elevator and get him, out to the front lobby ASAP. Doc Wiggin should already be here because of the remoras, and they're all going to comply. And the Tridio expert will be like, well, what about me? And Parson says, we're going to have to go back on the air, and we're going to have to tell everyone what's happened here. And I'll have something I need to say. And he's going to go back to his seat. And the Tridio expert will be like, oh, okay. And he'll look to all of you, the security experts, see if any of you have anything to say before he resumes.
Oh, no, Wolf, Davy, oh.
You mean to get a message from Pirate that says, like, okay, you can cut it off now. Video feed's been cut for a while.
Yeah, Whiskey, your older sister is telling you to stop being such a bad actress.
Oh no! Oh, where's my whiskey? Oh.
This is why at the childhood pageant you were kind of laughed off stage.
Fuck off, I was just too sexy for that thing.
You were 4 years old!
Yeah, and I was already bigger than you.
No, Carol, that's more like whiskey after 20 hurls. But, yeah, so eventually Parson, quote unquote, will have the Tridio turned back on. But Grim, you should roll a perception roll. Visual this time.
Now the question, is this carbon copy? Or...
I don't know. Were you actively looking around? That's your decision. So yeah, as Parson returned to his seat, he did drop a little folded paper on this table. And as he sits down, he will shoot you a... Well, you see how his token looks? That kind of slight head tilt and very subtle smirk? He shoots that straight towards you before, changing his expression to look very somber, and he kind of works up some hyperventilated, almost teary eyes, and he takes a couple of deep breaths, and then he points to the Tridio expert and says, "Get us back on the air." No, it's not a pick this up. It's a, you know what that is. And sorry, what were you saying about whiskey?
Whiskey is once again texting Alistair like, tragedy struck, get over here.
And you're still getting the automatic reply from Alistair saying, important meeting, get back to you later.
That's a fucking
Out of character, Grim. It looks at, what Weston, what Desperado just suggested. It looks an awful lot like those same papers that you kept finding with Parson. Yes, fun. But when the Tridio camera comes back on, Parson is going to basically explain that a terrible tragedy has just occurred. He's received word from Dockwagon that they're unable to resuscitate his good friend Wolf Davy, and he's not sure what happened exactly, but he is going to need to end the debate at this point. He doesn't say that the other politicians have to stop it as well, but he has to drop out from the debate. If that forfeits his position as an electable leader, so be it. But this is a personal tragedy that he must address, and he deeply apologizes to the people of London. And he seems to be losing it on Tridio, but eventually he gives the signal to cut, and he gets up and he just kind of staggers about, and he tells the Tridio expert, please leave me. You can pick up the machine tomorrow. Just I can't. And the Tridio expert's like, okay, sir, yes, absolutely. And he will go to the elevator, take one look, back up, and then take the stairs. And once everyone is out, he'll turn, he'll look to you, and he'll smile, he'll clap his hands together and say, "What wonderful work, everyone." And he's got that voice. And Grim picks up the letter. And I'm just going to go to the Shadowrun Out of Nest screen and object layer. Visible to players. I said the day of the debates was the 23rd, so change that. And even though it says death threat, it's more of a, well, if you want to read it, I'll read it out loud, I suppose. Let us chat a while for your gruesome demise. Leaving you suffering has been my truthful prize. I have mutilated and cut your face, skin, killed your will, essence, and spirit from within. You have now run out of time, our beautiful paradigm. Just listen for whom the death bells at last chime. Prodigy, I imagine, with the camera on Grimm's person or one of your drones, you'd read it.
Yeah.
And do you need help deciphering this one?
I do.
I've solved it. First 4 lines, the first letter in them spell kill backwards. Then the last 3 lines spell joy backwards.
Killjoy.
In this instance, joy kill.
Pity he did it with so quickly as off camera. I wanted, I had hoped for a bigger show on camera. With the body lying there and then the camera, 3D camera focus on that and then we all next to the body crying, no, no, oh God.
And this is why you are so much better as a strong arm and a scary lady rather than a mastermind of devious schemes. No offense meant.
I never claimed to be devious, I'm more dramatic.
I wouldn't necessarily use that word either. Grim says, look, I'm just glad this is over. It is over, isn't it? Killjoy, honestly, is who he really is, will say, well, I mean, I still have to sow the seeds for your friend. You said his name was Alistair, yes? Should you not send him up to...
I
come
have
and
been
meet
sending
me?
him, but that dickwad keeps bouncing my messages.
Okay, so there's literally no one in the foyer or anything? Alright, so, Prodigy, you've got, what are they called? The drones in the stairwell. You'll see Alistair coming up. Oh, wait, this guy's name should not be visible. Sorry. I hope no one actually read his name.
I did, but it doesn't tell me anything.
Okay. But, yeah, so... Grim says, yes, I meant for my freaking headache. You mind if I just go lay down for a bit? Because this stab wound is really fucking pissing me off, she says, to go sit in a chair where a projection used to be.
Oh, I know how you feel. Pretty good, pretty well.
Prodigy, Sybil, are either of you alerting the rest of the team?
Yep. I'm also going to run a Carnivore Gold immediately. Do I only need to run it?
Carnivore Gold is for language translation.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mona Lisa. Do I just roll the score of the Mona Lisa or the entire dice pool?
You can roll the entire dice pool if you are actively utilizing the software.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, he's coming upstairs. I am.
And Sybil's going to be tugging on Mike's shirt sleeve and pointing towards the stairway.
Grim, right when she sits down, she's going to groan heavily, annoyed, and stand back up and start to walk over to the doors.
I can open those.
Grim opens them anyway. Prodigy, this guy's face is semi-famous. He is, in fact, Terrence Newcomb of the Sweetest Industries Corporation here in London. He is the leading chief executive officer and owner and president of the company. And where did Grim go? I don't see where she went. Oh, you're underneath the blue tokens. Well, I guess we don't really need the motion detectors anymore, do we?
I guess not.
Okay, they're there. They're just invisible. Okay. But yeah, so Alistair will smile and wave to Whiskey. Grim opens the door for them. He comes in and he says, "Wow, it's a great pleasure to meet you, Mr. Parson." To which Killjoy says, "Yes, just it's a terrible moment." And at this point, does anyone want to interject to the fact that Killjoy's taking on the Parson persona again, or?
I'll just quickly goes like, he's the one who got in contact with us.
Whiskey is Borg gives like a huge sigh of relief and such, and also like slims down in one of the chairs.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I'm telling Parson he can drop the act.
With this other guy here?
Yeah, I was going to ask, Alistair, who's your acquaintance here?
Yeah, Pirate, I think you have enough common sense not to do that just yet.
OCD.
Also, wait, I've seen him before.
Wait,
Maybe
yeah,
that's his name in the subtlety part department.
yeah, so Prodigy, you're telling everyone who he is?
Yep.
Right.
I'm gonna have an AR note above his head, and then a text note to let people know that there's an AR note above his head.
Do you want to go ahead and roll a data search to see what else you can find on him?
Sure.
I think I spotted him when I was heading over to some bars, I think, the other day. Yeah. Yeah, you were looking at me a long while.
Right. So, Terrence Newcomb is the sole survivor of the Newcomb family. He is unwed, has no children or biological or adopted. His father had run the Newcomb and Sons Incorporated business until his father and two brothers passed away in various ways, in very short succession of one another, and Terrence ended up with 100% ownership of the company, and shortly thereafter he renamed it to the Sweetest Industries, and his business has been very successful since. He's expanded, but there's still competition that exists within London, but he basically it was garbage pickup, construction on the streets, repair to roads and sewer lines and electrical, and he's managed to basically got business with all the various services that exist for the city of London. The
infrastructure he's in charge of.
Yes, but he's a contractor. He's not actually with the city. It's just his business tends to get almost all the contracts. The only service he did not join up with was the Wi-Fi initiative. In a press conference, he explained that he felt it wouldn't last. About 10 years ago, he seemed to call it on the fact that the wireless matrix initiative would not be a long-term feasible financial project, and he did not want to invest in it at all. His competitors, of course, loved the opportunity that, for once, he wasn't going to get in their way. Well, look who's laughing now, I suppose. He instead put all his business into underground fiber optic cabling for direct lines.
Okay, which really doesn't answer the most important question.
What question is that?
WTF is he doing here?
Right. So Alistair will be like, I met a man, Mr. Newcomb, I'm sure is, well, excuse me, I'm just a little bit shocked that I got to meet both Parson and Newcomb in the same day. To which Newcomb's like, yes, it's been a very fortunate day for you, Mr. Ingram. After all, it seems that you've been good friends with Parson for quite some time. And when Parson kind of gives a quizzical look and says, well, yes, it's funny that you know that. And Newcomb says, oh, well, it's partially my business to know people, especially those who run this city. Okay, I'm getting weird noises from someone. Oh, okay. It's my business to know various people in this city, particularly those who run this city. And, we've met at various business meetings in the past, but it's no big significance. After all, I try to keep a somewhat low profile, but it's quite a thing that happened here today. It's remarkable. It's very fortunate that I bumped into Alistair and, made certain that he didn't blunder right into the Remora's path. Very, very terrible thing, but, well, I'd understand it that whoever stopped the Remoras is in store for a sizable bounty. That wouldn't happen to have been your security export cells, would it?
Oi, oi! Cluck, 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 cluck. She's crashing off the jazz as she's kind of despondent and basically just kind of slumped in the chair, boozing.
Grim will say yes, but it wasn't easy. Mike, anything you want to add? But Grim also adds, those types never make it easy.
I would like to know what's really going on, but I'm not sure. Maybe a sense motive on Alistair or Newcomb?
You can do one sense motive, and I'll let you know what that gets you for both of them.
Or judge intentions, rather.
Yeah, sorry, right, wrong system. Yeah.
The same function.
Give or take a little, yeah. Alistair is practically giddy because, he kind of excited about the situation. This other guy, he seems kind of aloof, honestly. Like, this is all kind of blasé, and he's kind of cynical about it, but he's forcing a smile for your benefit. But he'll follow up and say, it's a funny thing when bounties are involved, because a lot of the time, people who feel they're professionals, but they forget to actually register a professional corporation, think that they can claim those bounties. Well, they kind of end up getting themselves into a little bit of hot water when they actually try to claim those bounties. It's a funny thing. What are they called? Shadowrunners. They have this silly tendency to. Grim holds up her police badge. She just seems to ignore it entirely. He says they have this funny tendency to think that some cheap fake sins will be enough to claim something of a magnitude of that nature. But I'm sure the people who went and actually stopped the Remoras today, they're smart, honest people, and that, even if there was a slight paperwork error and their business registration forms didn't actually get put through at the appropriate time and date, it would be good of them to have a friend who could make sure that all that paperwork got squared away in its rightful place, don't you think?
I don't think there's anything funny about anything you just said. And people suck, and I kill them all, burn all their buildings, fucking look.
What?
Gur says, look, we get it. What exactly would such a friend be so friendly about? I'm sorry I don't follow you, miss. All I'm suggesting that, a you know,
Okay.
everything will be all right as long as everybody's on the same page. And, you know, kind of, yeah, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. But I just, you know, it's good to see that you're all right, Alderman Parson. I could understand that it's probably been a very trying day and that you're probably ready to retire after, you know, such a stressful day. And Killjoy as Parson is like, well, yes, that's very true. Grim says, look, it's been a rough day, and I would rather have friends than enemies, but my headache is in no place for games, she would say, trailing off quickly as she was being ignored.
Hilde.
But out of character, just to get this moving along, basically Newcomb would speak to Killjoy, but speak to him as Parson, and basically make sure that Alistair and Killjoy fully understood that their friendship was being arranged, and that all of you were also arranged, and that you are receiving payment even though you screwed up and didn't actually set yourselves up to receive payment on your own. You've got a guardian angel that's going to make sure you end up getting paid. And usually Newcomb doesn't, you know, get involved meeting new people himself. He usually has people doing that for him. But he doesn't expect any of you will see him again, except for, you know, on a billboard or something. Because he wanted to make sure that everyone here was all right and everyone understood the gravity of the situation.
Yeah, we're probably never going to see him again, but we definitely see his middlemen or his agents again.
Cops are assholes.
This isn't a cop. This is someone who's behind the picture.
That doesn't matter. Like, if they don't pay us the bounty, they're bloody assholes.
Don't worry. I'm sure that a good police officer from the Gravesend precinct will be very, very cooperative and make sure that all the I's get dotted and all the T's get crossed, and that the appropriate payments meet to the appropriate independent professional security contractors. Grim's like, yes, of course, she would say quickly. And, you know, if professionals, and he very stresses the word in an almost mocking way, would be more professional in the future, they might find more work coming their way. But they've got a long road ahead of them before that. Mike sends a PM to the team. Can we kill this SUB right now? Mike, is that the drugs talking?
No.
That's the crash from the drugs talking. He's, you know, just like, oh god, can we just kill this person right
Pirate's
now?
gonna
There's gonna
say-
be a bigger problem than benefit.
Yeah, Pirate's going to reply, this is corporate talk. He wouldn't be doing this or doing power moves like this if he didn't have a couple of cards left up his sleeve. If we pull anything, it's going to immediately turn on us.
And Grim texts back, Mike, one more comment like that, and I'm cutting you out will be the least... And cutting you out will be the least of your troubles.
Sybil's just gonna hug him and shake her head.
And Whiskey does a +1 to the murder and burn everyone idea.
Yeah, so, and Pirate's just going to speak up. So, Whiskey, looks like your little BF right there was more of a tool than an actual mastermind.
Are you saying that while everyone's still here?
No, in the group thing.
Oh, in the group chat. Okay. But yeah, Terrence will, you know, hope that all of you understand the situation, that you will be getting paid. You've done a good job. Not the best job you could have done, but a good enough job to deserve your payment. And, you know, if you stay on the straight and narrow and prove that you can do a better job in the future, you'll probably be getting bigger jobs with better paydays. Just FYI.
Yeah, probably coming out of certain expense accounts that he is aware of or semi-aware of.
But he will also mention that if someone by the name of Sebastian Boole ever gets in touch with you, be sure to show him the utmost respect and cooperation because he is a very good friend and business associate of mine, and I do like my friends to be treated well. And Grimm's like, of course, sir.
Sebastian's a familiar name. That the orc?
Nope. Don't
Why
think it's
does
anyone
names-
we met yet.
I don't know why, but Sebastian is a very...
Mike
Oh,
out loud
they
would
broke my
just say,
soul.
I just hope that any such future endeavors are a little less headache-inducing than this one.
Oh shit, I've been transmitting this whole time, haven't I? Durr.
Nope.
Well, my microphone says I have been, but I guess if I was quiet enough, it didn't matter. Cool.
Indeed.
But yes, headaches are always unfortunate, but I find that with solid planning and a understanding of what's at stake, you can usually mitigate those.
Yes, but, you know, with so many people keeping secrets, trying to make a solid plan is always difficult.
That is a fair point. Very fair point.
It would also
was a
help if
case
not
of-
everyone was a dick.
This was a very strong case of whatever would be the British version of too many chefs in the kitchen.
Grim also says it might do well to shuffle assets in the future. And Terrence will give Grim a very happy nod and say, yes, perhaps Sebastian and you should speak about which assets would be ideal for other initiatives. And Grim says, of course, it would be my pleasure. Well, I don't want to keep you all, but does anyone want to say anything else to Terrence before he departs?
Oh, I have a great many things I want to say to him, but
Yeah, whiskey. What whiskey would say would not be polite.
But more to the point, did I get any information on him that can, like, at least partially even the playing field, so he isn't the only one that can play cards here? Not even with, like, Shadow Community?
Okay.
Roll that?
You know that his father and two brothers all died of quote-unquote natural causes or accidents within days of each other, and
Oh,
he
well-
assumed complete control of the business.
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's not something I can play due to the fact that it's literally so obvious a political play that
not with
it's
one
not
data
something
search,
I
I
can
think is the
pretend
answer.
that nobody else has the idea that he did it.
Yeah,
I'm
and on top of that, no, you look at his business records, they're all squeaky clean. Basically, any time that his business would have caused a competitor to collapse and therefore he'd end up with a monopoly, some other business showed up and rescued that one and kept it afloat just long enough to continue being a competitor, even though by all rights it should be completely dead and he should have a monopoly. But there's just enough competition that the anti-monopoly laws can never come after him.
And I wonder where all those companies came from. I wonder if they could be, I don't know,
Oh.
puppet corporations.
The name Sebastian Boole keeps showing up.
He's in charge of all the puppet companies, isn't he?
Well, he's the I can't remember what they're called in the real world, but they buy out a dying company and then sell it off right away. He's one of those.
Oh. Yeah. Ooh, what were those called?
But anyway, did anyone have anything else they wanted to say to good old Terry before he departs?
See you out on the street,
Nothing.
eh?
Sybil's just gonna send a PM to Mike through their skin link. That guy's a little too slimy for my well-being.
Welcome to corporate.
Oh, basically, that would be Mike's text back with, no, try way too slimy for our well-being, but that's the job.
And so Alistair will say, okay, so no recording commie things right now, right?
No.
Sybil will point out all the drones.
Like, I mean, can we have a conversation here that isn't going to be potentially used against us? Because we've all kind of been,
Screwed over enough.
well, we actually haven't been screwed over, and I just want to talk to you all about what's actually been going on that I just found out, you know? And Grim says, nothing that can't be deleted or turned off. In fact, it's much better we take care of that right now.
That reminds me, we still need to go into Wolf Davy's room and plant some of those fake explosive stuff there if it's needed.
I already have that prepped. As soon as I get access to there, I can lace anything scuffed that's going to come up. He's been around explosive material.
And Parson, quote unquote, will open the door for you with his universal lock key.
Yeah, I would just go through there and do that real quick. Just do it in places where I would know, pilot would know to be like, this is legitimate and this isn't just like just spreading it around the room with, why is there explosive powder here, here, and here, or material?
Okay. But yeah, so Prodigy, are you going to play ball, or are you going to record this to potentially screw Alistair and or Killjoy or the rest of your team?
Well, he records everything, so this isn't anything new. But yeah, he's recording.
Okay.
This.
Okay. Well, once Alistair's been given the go-ahead, he's going to say that Terry basically grabbed me off the street. I was coming here as part of the plan, and he and I sat down for coffee, and he explained everything as the Remoras drove up and crashed through the front lobby. He didn't admit to anything, but yeah, I've been played. You've all been played. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I really legitimately thought this was on the level, and I kind of screwed that up. But Terry was telling me that this Killjoy Parson is going to go ahead with the plan, and Killjoy's like, yes, I will.
Oh, that's the lesson of this, you know. No matter how smart you think you are, no matter how far you think you're ahead in the game, some other asshole already foresaw what you're going to do and has decided and has found out a way to exploit it. Ugh.
Yeah, about that. As I understand it, Terry, he knows everything that goes on in this city because, well, the reason the Lord Protector's office managed to have such a great network is because Sweetest Industries is the one that set it up for them.
The Sweetest Industry is their spy network.
Well, I mean, well, they literally are the sewage and garbage and road repair people. It's just because they're that, they also get around town and can set stuff up. And Grib says, yeah, look, this is the most I've been screwed without enjoying it in the least. But I just want to go back to the kind I do enjoy. And Alistair will say, yeah, no, absolutely. I just, technically, I think I'm in Terry's pocket now. And I just wanted you all to understand that as I take Parsons' place, I'm basically gonna owe it to this Newcomb guy. But, you know, he implied pretty clearly that Parson and Wolf's plan, well, he found out about it, and he put countermeasures in place to make sure that Wolf didn't end up as the one in charge. And he's really glad all of you were able to work with his plans because, like, he's the guy who told the Fink, and the Fink told me, but the Fink was actually supposed to tell somebody else. And so me and you guys, we kind of got lucky here. And Grim says, seems like it. Thing is, we don't have a choice, so definitely better we don't try to fight it or anything.
Mike would.
I had to agree.
Mike would say just one thing. Promise me that in the future, you tell us when we're working for you directly, and tell us when we're actually working for him. Okay?
Okay. I'll do.
I'm sure he will make requests of you, no doubt. And if any of those requests end up involving us, just let us know.
As long as I guess he won't kill me if I tell you.
Fair enough.
That's absolutely fair.
I get the impression he's in this for the long haul. I mean, he said pretty clearly, I'm not going to win this election because I'm not, even part of it, and Parson can't just say that I'm in charge. So one of those other four assholes is going to basically get this term, and then next term he's going to make sure that I'm in a good place. With Parson's help, of course, before Parson goes on permanent sabbatical.
I have a pretty good idea who's going to be taking over Parsons' position, though.
Still, Ali, I'm glad you're just a bloody fool rather than a bloody puppet master. And she kind of smiles at Alistair.
He says, well, I'll still use my magic fingers for a little marionette show, if you know what I mean.
No. This is a character. Just Pirate sticking her fingers in her hair, just doing that now.
Whiskey points at Pirate and goes,
way.
jealous.
So, I understand that this session was supposed to wrap up at 9 p.m.
No.
No?
No. I said if we were still way behind
okay.
schedule by 9, I'd just, basically do what I just did for the last hour.
Okay.
But you need to get going, right?
I'm gonna start falling asleep soon at this point, actually. So I've been...
Grim's Hex Pirate, don't worry, it was a cramped bed.
Just audible grunting, grinding of teeth, and she just continues to do that just to make sure she's not hearing anything.
But Alistair will say, Terrence said that the cops should be up here pretty shortly. So I suppose, get that wolf room locked up, and I guess we all just sort of act natural. Is there any way, actually, Whiskey, you and I, maybe we should just get out of here. Maybe we should just go have, let's just go home.
Alright, can you guys get the things off the roof, by the way?
Alistair, I think it's best now if you just try to get some plausible deniability.
Alright, so out of character, all things considered, you played your parts better than feared, but worse than expected?
Worse than hoped?
Yeah, that's it. About on par with what was expected, I suppose. So yeah, you are going to all receive payment for the bounties on the Remoras. You led away all 3 other assassins, though. But Terrence might find it in his heart to give you a small boon to show his appreciation. And technically, you've made friends of all those assassins who you let go. Joseph Monteson will hear the news that Wolf has been killed, and he'll just want to have a quick meeting with Mike when he gets the opportunity, just to say, I don't think you had anything to do with that, but I want to look you in the eye and make sure.
I was actually planning on writing him a note anyway, so that'll be taken care of.
Okay. And anything else outstanding any of you wanted to ask about before we literally shut this down?
Nope. Pirate just
I'm-
wants to get this over and done with.
I'm guessing we get the stashed loot off the roof via drone or such.
If Prodigy wants to play ball, yes.
And I suppose on their way home, as Mike's driving, Sybil gets pulled into VR.
No, you'd have to make another request.
Okay. And I'm guessing, Mike, are you gonna keep your hand on those awakened plants, or are you gonna hand those off to Pirate?
I'll hand
Pirate?
them off to you for the time being, so that you can identify them.
Yeah.
You are going to give those back, right?
She's gonna plan to see if you have connections to sell them, because she ain't gonna use them. She just wants to figure out what they are and what they can what the value possibly is.
Well, out of character, they're magical compounds, not really drugs, so I don't think there's any addiction with them or anything.
There are downsides to them.
Downsides,
Yeah.
but not. I don't think addiction is one of them.
No, but it's bad still for your essence and stuff.
Depends on which one. Immortal Flower, yes. The Spirit Strength, I think it just kind of causes you to have a despondency crash. And let's see here, Street Magic. Spirit Strength. The character's agility, body reaction, and strength are reduced to 1 for the same duration as the Spirit Strength.
So, heck of a crash.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would probably also at some point mention, if you do well with that, I've got another project I'd like you to look at, but we'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's enough for the official recording for tonight.
All right, so if any of you have any questions or concerns, please get in touch with me. Next week we are doing the words, the bar, the downtime, where you will get the opportunity to just bring whatever characters, plural, you want to Whiskey's bar, the Hammersmith, and just de-stress for a bit. Get to talk to one another, get to meet one another. You can even have your own characters, meet your own characters. And because Wolf Davy's the one who died, I can finally say what the next mission is going to be. And Andre, Cage, being that there's something called Carnivore Gold. It's software that allows you to translate other languages. So you only have to roll for it if someone's saying something particularly confusing, or if you're in combat and need to communicate with someone in a hurry. So even though Cage is Greek, he can use Carnivore Gold to translate other languages and send his own messages in things he says in Greek can be translated to English for other people.
Yeah. So some characters who may be bilingual, you may need that for when they just start speaking in foreign languages, like Whiskey and Pirate can speak in Gaelic with each other.
Yeah, Frax natively speaks Turkish and only speaks a little bit of English, so he uses it a lot.
Or there's like my other character, Okami, who I believe only knows Japanese, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, she's got to go learn some English, that xenophobic individual she is. All right,
hey.
so what?
And
Just like the rest of her countrymen, okay?
Yeah.
and Sybil, who
So-
only understands German and Russian.
But yeah, so good night to everyone. Contact me if you need to, and I will do my absolute best to make sure that your character sheets are updated, and we can establish just how you want to divide this payday exactly, considering Twister's Prodigy put out so much. And I think Mike, you also put what, 10,000 or something, or
45, and the deal was that if I did a job for him, he might be able to give me that money back. But we'll get to talk about that later.
I put in a couple of K just in explosive materials and magical materials I need used throughout this entire thing.
so yeah, all of you figure out what your expenses are and share that in the BBM, and we'll hammer it out by the bartending session for you all to decide just how much you are owed for what you put into this job.
Honestly, if we try to break this down evenly, a few of us are going to be in the red on this mission, income-wise. That's pretty much a given at this point.
Whiskey will probably be willing to dispense most of what she made of this mission. Because it's kind of like, yeah, it was her friend that got through this and kind of was her job, so she is fine with not taking the wealth from it.
How many of the
Well, we'll
Ramona
figure that
comlinks
out
did we
once we know
get?
what we've made.
Sorry, what was that, Twister?
How many Ramona comlinks did we get? Just the one?
Just the one, and just the one boom box.
Boombox.
Which, by the way, when Prodigy gets his hands on that fully,
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you know what Prodigy's looking at. He knows it's worth a lot more than what its listed value is in Chummer.
I figured that would be the case.
So that
Exact-
single item may
The thing
be
doesn't
making
say
up your cut.
processor 10.
The components themselves, yes,
Yeah.
they're worth that much. It's the fact that it's carrying something on it,
Oh, okay.
which doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. You've got unique software on that sucker.
Okay. That's nice. So I have
And,
the option of either keeping that unique software or selling it, basically.
Or reverse compiling it and figuring out how to make a better version of it.
That's true. Alright, well that's good to know. But
And also-
either way, but between the 3 suits and the 1 comlink, that covers Prodigy's tabs. And then we have the total amount to cover for capturing the 3. The bonus that VT mentioned for befriending them all. I don't know if that's an assured. I'm pretty sure it was a potential thing.
No, I'm saying for making friends with the assassins, you've got favors, not bonus
Okay.
money.
Okay.
Yeah, none of them are giving you new yen for letting them walk away, because most of them are actually in the hole on this. Tuesday and Ella, they paid to get this job, and now all of a sudden they're not getting paid in return. Meanwhile, of course, you have made big friends with Monteson and Aiden St. George and Walter Chalice, because you literally gave them money to
Not
walk away from a job they weren't even going to get paid to do.
Yep,
Oh,
no, I realized that.
We still have the chip from Monteson.
Yes,
Good.
and Prodigy will crack it very easily and find it's nothing but garbage code.
Yeah.
It's empty.
It was never going to have money. I purchased it with the knowledge it wasn't going to have money. I purchased it with the knowledge it would get us the assassins. That's literally the entire thing, and I told VT that night.
Yeah, that's the key thing. It's just make friends. We have friends with a world-class assassin and 2 good local assassins.
Make that 1 international super assassin, 1 international assassin, and 2 semi-local assassins with their wet work fixer as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Desperado, Monteson would give Mike a good solid pat on the back to make sure there were no hard feelings.
And then he's gonna put him in his lap, isn't he?
No, there are no hard feelings. So not putting him in the lap.
Especially given who ended up catching the, well, not literally catching a bullet, but metaphorically.
Also, I assume that the police questioning of us all goes smoothly. Like we won't have to do that separately as a session.
Mike and Grim will pretty much be the only ones who actually get questioned by the police because Mike's the leader of this business. By the way, Mike, somehow your fake business ended up becoming a real business all of a sudden.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah. Yeah, basically some paperwork was lost and rediscovered, and the backdating of when your business was supposed to be up and running was fixed.
Yep, I figured that out all on my own.
Well, the thing is,
I
though,
wonder who did that.
they would question and interrogate Grim and Mike, but they would still probably want a statement from the rest of us.
No, actually, because strings were pulled, and they're not going to interrogate either of them. Grim is being questioned by her own chief, who, by the way, is like in love with her platonically. And Mike is going to be the detectives assigned to Mike are going to be pre-screened to ensure that they are cooperative with a security professional of his caliber.
AKA, they're in certain man's pocket. Yeah.
So, everybody feel good about this mission finally being done? You feel like you got rewarded for doing this mission?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
I do have one quick question. The software on the Remora's comlink, is that actually registered software that can be
They
transferred?
well, can't be transferred. It's copyright.
No. Yeah.
It's actually, it was stolen military comlink that's been jailbroke.
Well, what I was thinking is they had some very nice software I would love to have on my comlink, but I don't know if I can get that.
What are you looking for specifically, and which character sheet?
I think they're all identical, and they all had like a full rating 6 of analyze, browse, and edit.
For one, we only have the one comlink, which is unfortunate because I wanted more than one. Yeah, they are copyright protected. You need to take the comlink for yourself.
All right, we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well,
But it is
sorry, go ahead.
User disconnected
100,000
from your
new yen
channel.
for this comlink. Expensive motherfucker.
Yeah.
Then again, I guess I can't really comment with Prodigy's comlink.
Yeah, and then I think if there were like
You're still
more
recording,
comlinks missing, that would be very suspicious.